This was one. Whoa.
Huh?
I need you to go away. And you. Fine. This is all fine now. Don't ask me. Don't you know what? Sometimes things don't go according to plan. There we go. Now it's fine. You can see us. We can see you. Never mind. Can't hear you anymore. Listen,
You have trouble setting up your stream? Take one Staley, DM a pro.
DM a pro. Listen, here's the situation.
What's the stitch?
The stitch is I have never really messed with when there's only 4 of you here. So I just kind of had it set up for emergency situations, but I hadn't set it up completely all the way.
What you're saying is you're used to big groups only.
Yes. Well, okay.
It's
Listen.
about to get smaller.
No. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I did nothing wrong.
All right, now we got some
Can you still
fog.
not hear anything?
No, she can hear. I can see the volume thing is going up and around.
Silver Moon stream without audio issues, not with the frizz.
You're so rude. I love
Please
it.
let this be a normal field trip.
Well,
With the
Hendrik,
whiz?
usually you hop in.
Yeah. Well, you can hear now. Yeah. Dreamy, I need a drink. I think.
Doing a Magic School Bus theme campaign would be really great.
Who would be who?
Really would.
We're like alluding to it.
That would be a miracle. What? Doing a Mrs. Magic
long.
School? Yeah, I don't remember any of the characters. I just remember I used to watch them.
At my school, the buses was much better.
Well, that's you.
That.
I am not Blondie.
I mean, it is free gaming. Miss Frizzle was the
if
DM
anything,
of
I'd
her
be that
campaign.
one.
Yeah, it's true.
Absolutely.
Things just happen sometimes. Google just asked, "Did you mean D&D?"
I'd be that kid that died on the first field trip that everyone's conveniently forgotten about and never talks about ever again.
Let's put bricks. This is gonna
We
go
don't talk
behind
about
everybody.
Graham.
This goes down
Or
here, and this is gonna
Hey,
go
he's got
down
information
here.
slip.
Yay! We got it. We got progress. All right, come on, boys. Where are you at? What's going on here? Not having audio issues would be a miracle. I'm not gonna comment on that.
I think we better do a scene to revise the end of last session.
After a
Which
really
is,
tragic death of Sonder, Galil, and Sol, they were horrendously rent from limb from limb.
The party went on a vacation. The remainder of the party went on a vacation to Rubian to visit Renan's homeworld.
Yeah.
You
Wait,
ever
we
heard
have
the
more?
term
there.
Soul Survivor? It does not apply.
Saunders in the waiting room. Yay, we have one. We got one. Wait, why is this not there?
It's really awkward now to tell him that he died.
Magically, Renan's magic just magically made him magically together again.
It's just weird that he died again.
God damn it! Wait, who's missing? Renan. Renan's missing. Okay. There we go. Well, no. I just meant now that we've adjusted one more, because we're hanging out with chat. This is our time to hang out with chat. Chat, if you have any
This
questions
is
you
our
would like.
time. This is our time down here.
Yeah, sure. That. Logging in now. All right, Galil. All right. So that just means we're down
so
a
chat
soul.
has a limited period of time for asking those questions.
Yeah, this is a limited. This is a special time offer. You have a Q&A. We are here to give you your A's for your Q's.
Well, Weaver, I can answer that question very easily. Because capitalism, that's why.
Ugh. Wait. What do hot dogs come in packages of 10 and buns come in packages of 1? Yeah. Where's Fanch? Was she good at hanging out after she was gored? Oh no.
Okay, father of the bride.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What's his name? Oh my gosh.
I mean, Fanch is likely on the reclaimer right now.
Yeah, likely. Probably.
like now that we're gone,
He's
that's
in a
probably when
cocoon
like
sack,
Fanch's
really.
subconscious is like execute order 626.
All of a sudden, Stitch comes out of nowhere.
Well, and you see, what happened was we left the reclaimer, and Fanch went to
Reclaim it.
rejoin her friends in the Lich Council of Thay
Steve Martin.
after destroying the reclaimer
Mm-hmm.
and taking 2 small children with her.
Yeah.
It turns out Lady Farlight is also on the Lich Council of
Yep.
Thay.
Yep.
And
100%.
they planned it. They wanted to strand us in Almilar. And
So, sorry.
was
Y'all
a
are
lot.
stranded. I'm not.
Galil magically gets magically sewn back together, and he appears on the battlefield. Wait,
You're
actually,
so dumb.
well, listen, we were trying to entertain the masses while we were waiting for you guys, so
Hey, I just got home. So.
you just appeared, so it's fine.
The humans are dead.
A wild Galil has appeared.
Yes.
It's a good thing I'm not a human.
They killed all their asses with poisonous gases.
Play of the Concord.
Yes!
Yes.
Okay, so did we kill the asses with poisonous gases, or were the asses the things with
The
poisonous
source.
gases?
The source of the poisonous
I don't know. I
gases.
kind of appreciate the irony of asses getting killed by poisonous gases.
Yeah,
True.
that's a good point. Good point. Good point. Good point. Good point.
I mean, the singers of that song are robots. Or at least that's the notion.
Yes.
LV,
Too
hello.
many dicks on the
Welcome.
dance floor.
Hey, Ellie.
LV, good to see you.
Welcome to our
Love to
weekly
see.
clusterfuck.
Yeah, we're down a soul. We were waiting on the last remaining party members, but we didn't want to just leave chat hanging, so we decided to come hang out with you guys and pregame together.
Mm-hmm.
I have not had enough.
Pre-game. Oh, we're doing that? Okay.
Well, I mean,
Uh-oh.
according to some.
Who's
Some.
Nice soul. Dreamy.
Dreamy mostly.
You'll behave.
Oh,
Listen
Dreamy,
to
okay.
Yeah, Dreamy's pretty. Listen, she makes some fancy beverages. I'm excited to see what she is going to what we are going to concoct during the great Night of Silver Moon gathering.
I know exactly what she's gonna make.
It's Dreamy. You want to make this Knights of Silver Moon Con? This is gonna be Knights of Silver Moon Con. When you come down here, we're just gonna call it KOS Con. We will rent
First
a room.
night, she's gonna make a messy errand. That's it.
We're gonna rent a room at Mr. Gaddy's, and that's gonna be the KOS Con. We're starting small, you know. Somewhere.
Hey, oh.
Thunder.
I wonder.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
He's probably
Soul,
driving.
Soul said
Yes, I'm
he is.
here. I'm driving.
Soul said he is booting up now, so he is booting up, and then we'll be set to go.
Not the booty.
We are booting. Are we ready? Kindred, are you ready for tonight's recap?
Oh, shit.
That would be a no.
That would be a
Iskra
no.
looks like you're up again.
No.
It's not a
all right.
lot. It's not a lot.
Yeah, that's also true.
I don't know. I'm trying to like go think like we just
what all did we do?
We went in the cave. We killed the thing. We stunned.
Done.
Basically,
Done,
all we did.
You killed something. It's not all the
Real
things.
dark.
Oh, there's
Saw
Soul.
some scary things.
As long as it's better than DashCon. I don't know what DashCon is, but that sounds like it would be not great.
Oh no.
Dash cam?
Dashcam? No. I'm gonna move Iskra here. And
It's basically Firefest.
I was wondering.
No idea.
All right, here we go. Let's switch it down. Yeah. Oh wait, nope. So this on the side.
Hey, I'm
there we
me
go.
though.
Don't worry. Now we have completed forming Voltron. It just took us a whole anime episode, but we finally got the whole team together.
Oh, should I have been doing like cool, amazing transformation poses down here the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, do we need to do that?
Like
Go get the
together?
Power Ranger shit.
Yes.
So then,
I
according
just
to this
said
configuration,
connected.
I'm the leader because I'm in the middle. I'm the Red Ranger right now.
This is true.
Oh.
Yeah,
Form
because
to me,
it's-
or whatever they say. I don't know. Wait, what does that make me? I'm like
Change
way
after
over.
every season, anyways.
I'm like way
Zordon.
over here. I'm just. Oh.
You're Zordon.
Ah, yeah. Wait, no, that's not Zordon.
That's
Oh no! Oh no! Rangers. Oh wait, no. I have that voice. Don't I have that voice? I think I have that voice.
I don't know.
And
Do you have?
apparently you have an echo. Oh.
Ah, yeah.
It's
Mute.
not an echo, it's just the voice of God.
Yes. Power Rangers unite! Oh no! What
So, Wingweaver, I appreciate your comment, but please do not inflate his ego. It does not help any of us.
It doesn't help you.
Hi, Wing Weaver.
You know, he does
Maybe
play Hirsanos, so he is the voice of God.
happened? This is. Hold on. So apparently, whatever I just did caused the whole voice thing to crash. So let's not. Let me calm down.
Summon Zordon.
Wow.
Yeah, I tried to summon Zordon and it just. No.
Wow.
Yeah. It is-
Wow.
Wow. All right. Now that we are all here, mostly all
Does
here.
everybody have their hot dog?
Oh my god. I was like, all right. I think we are good to go. Everything seems to be. For now, operating. I'm an agent of chaos. It's not Echo. It's just the voice of God.
Is there like tuba music going on in the background right now?
Yes, yes. I mean, I feel, yeah. You know, it is what it is. But, yeah. So with that, welcome to Knights of Soda Moon, where we have everything under control and definitely know what we're doing at all times.
Let's just roll that professional intro so they forget all about it.
You will forget everything you just heard and saw. All right. Welcome back. We are now calm, and everything is working. We're just waiting on Sandra's beautiful face to like appear, but I'm sure it will.
Beautiful face.
His beautiful face, all those lovely faces, you know.
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Oh yeah, I don't.
Kindred, do you want to do this, or do you want me to do it?
I mean, I could wang it.
Wing away then. Our one and only Kindred. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah, diary. So we got stuck in this stupid mine shaft, and it's dark, it's creepy, and there's nothing, and I can't see, and we need light, and no one wants to help us, and this stupid bitch that was in this society lied to me about getting people things. So now we're going in here in the dark. And we go some ways, and it's forever and forever down this stupid creaky mine shaft, and then we get to the bottom. and there's nothing except cold, wet dirt. And then Graham finds a keyhole, and we're like, I guess this is the way to go. Fuck it, let's see what's in here. So then we go down this tunnel because the guy said go north until what's left is all, something like that. So we're going, and we can't see anything, and it's wet. And then there's a tunnel, and we're like, no, we keep going north. So we go north, and then we see a stalagmite with some blood on it, but nothing else. And it looks like there was a scuffle. But we don't know what the fuck happened, so we're just like, oh, let's be detectives, but we're not good detectives. And then, like always, Gala had to go off on his own, but Oreo smelled something, and Sonder thought it was him farting. And so they followed this. They followed their noses of the smell of the farts until we caught up, and then we saw bones. And at first I thought it was Ballwrecker, but it wasn't, because Sonder had to monk up ahead and see something. All he was supposed to do was just bring me back a skull so I can ask it questions. Then he saw something moving and shot an arrow and pissed whatever the fuck it was off. So then we had to fight all these things, and they thought, but they did not, because we killed them all before they even got to us. So we're like, huh. And so now we're gonna go look at some bodies, and I think that's it.
That was actually pretty accurate.
That was.
Yay!
Yeah, you did it. You did the thing. Nope, you basically covered all the, you hit all the, you crossed all the T's, dotted all your I's. So, good job. All right.
Aaron, you're very loud.
Am I?
No.
Am I very loud?
You who are quiet.
Yeah, maybe you are quiet. I don't know. Listen, I don't know what's happening anymore. How about now? Is this better?
It's the same.
Okay.
It was always fine to me. I think Renan is just dying inside.
I mean, that's always possible.
He smelled toast.
All right. So, as you guys have now finished off the last of those creatures that had crawled from the icky, gross cavern of mud, blood, and bodies, you had heard echoing from across the cavern dozens of more screeches and hollers echoing through the darkness, distant, but still present somewhere beyond the edges of the lights that you guys have. Remind me, Renan, you had cast a daylight spell on a dagger. Is that still active? Okay. And what is
Sonder chucked it down a hole.
Yes. So the current lighting situation is this bright, fluorescently daylight dagger that is beaming out light from the inside of this cave mouth and kind of shining up. And you can see, what is the range of light that this thing casts?
120 feet, and it does not actually shed daylight.
Right, it's just bright light.
That is
It's
effectively daylight.
It is effectively daylight.
Now the real
Daytime
question
of the night.
is it 6,500 Kelvin balanced?
Yeah. Probably not.
And is it warm or cool?
That's what I just
Not
asked.
have temperature.
So, as this light is shining out from this cave light, it kind of illuminates the cave, the part of the wall that is on the opposite side from this cave, and then a little bit into the darkness beyond it, but it doesn't still permeate all the way up to the roof. It still seems to end, and you can see this hazy edge to where the light itself is shining, but you guys are currently bathed in this light. It seems like you are outside for at least as close as you are once you are inside this cave, but the reek is still present, and it now accompanies the rather morbid visage that you see around you, or the things that you see buried in the ground, the half-eaten and decayed bodies that litter the mud, both buried and unburied, eaten and picked clean, and some still rotting away at the very far corners of this cave. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna chime in with some stuff.
Okay.
Looking around at the muck and the bodies, I say to everyone with like are we casting like big creepy shadows because of the light at this point? Like,
Kind of. The shadows kind of dance and stretch and elongate because of this light source that's here in the center of the cave now.
yeah, but like, there's a lot of people and things that have died down here. They can't all have been members of the body of Isidorus. Where do you think they came from?
All over. People who wouldn't be quiet. People who wanted to be gotten rid of.
I haven't noticed a sizable homeless population in this city, have you?
Or children.
Is this where everyone has gone who has been missing?
Wouldn't say that. But it could be a good portion of them. As they start looking at the bodies and looking at one of the best intact creatures, can I do like an intelligence check to see like a creature this size, how much maybe would it consume on average in a meal?
Of the monsters you guys had dispatched?
Yes.
Sure. Intelligence, history,
Oh fuck yeah. Straight
will.
intelligence.
if you wish.
Okay. 19 plus 5, 24.
Looking at the creatures that you guys have just defeated, what's left of some of them, because as I recall, there
Yeah,
was
some
some
were just
rather,
obliterated.
some were just straight up torn to pieces by earth and thorny vines. There are aspects of them that kind of are familiar enough to where you have encountered creatures like this before. Ghasts and ghouls generally kind of have a similar gray shape to them. The difference being here is that these, for the most part, when you have seen and fought ghasts before, I'm not trying to remember the exact times when you guys have, but I know you guys have faced these things. They resemble like cave dwellers, right? These things almost have like a zombie-esque like look to them. Like they still have hair, there's still aspects and remnants of clothing, but their skin is grayed, and then the wounds that are you're able to see where the flesh is torn from skin, it is dark. It looks dead. It's so dark and purple almost, that whatever blood that has pooled around here is almost like already a gelatin of just black ooze. It's hard to say how it's not like you're like, oh, they will eat about 56 kilograms of meat in a day. You know, it's like, but you know that
And
these
then I
things
don't know how many are here, so
Exactly. You do know that these things are voracious. They will eat anything, dead or alive.
What if they're on Weight Watchers?
Probably
Dead or alive.
dead or alive. So
I tighten up the like headgear portion of my desert attire and cover my mouth
Sure.
with the smell seeping back in.
And,
So then to the-
and I would say that even no, I was just gonna say that anytime you approach the bodies, the stench is incredibly strong. It doubles into where it makes you like almost physically ill.
I'm gonna start taking a look to see if I can identify Nuzuk, Brayley, Visaya, or Jewel, the
Okay.
people that we were looking for.
For sure.
Yeah, that's the last thing I would ask is, given that Nezek disappeared like a month ago, they said,
Yes.
it would be a safe assumption to assume that if he was down here, his body would be picked clean.
Possibly. A lot of the bodies here look like it's not like the ones that have flesh are freshest either. There are some that still have flesh, but they've been obviously rotted and like it's almost like stored for later, kind of tucked into the mud where they're half buried, and like you can see that like of a leg that's sticking out, only some of it's been chewed and the rest has been left. But it looks, it varies. But you would imagine probably.
Okay. So more than likely, we're going to be looking for something with flesh on it. I don't think it's going to be complete bone, but these things are weird, so you never quite know, guys. But I'll start looking around as well, looking at bodies and see if I can identify anything.
Are you
I'm gonna
guys?
call out to Sonder as well as we're looking. Are you okay down there?
There's just a lot of bodies down here. And sacks, like burrows and little areas where it seems like these things sleep.
Wonder, I hope you are willing to go pick up my dagger, sir.
Yeah, it's down here.
Okay. Didn't see who Ardrin or Sol raised their hands
Sol.
first. Sol, go ahead, Sol. What are you gonna say?
So we're hearing a lot of noise outside as well, like as if we've alerted creatures. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, it's not a continual screech. You just after the defeat and the sounds of battle had kind of like died down. You heard it echo and then it stopped, but it's not like a continual sound that you're hearing. Ardrin,
I'm going to. Oh,
no, go ahead.
Going to talk to everyone. I think we should keep an eye out in case any more come. It sounds like there are others out there.
Which I want to know, Renan, how long does this spell last for?
Daylight?
Yeah.
An hour.
Okay. Arjun, what are you gonna say?
Arjun was just going to go over to, I guess, where the slope begins, but not actually descend into it. And he's just going to try and shield his eyes as best he can from the, corona of light down there.
Right.
And try and peer beyond it into the actual darkness, looking for any of these things showing up. Assuming you can actually sort of bank his eye line that way.
Yeah. Go ahead. We're gonna say Sonder.
You're
You're muted.
Create like a barrier between my nose and mouth of just like a water mask to prevent the smell.
Nice.
And I'll keep that on me as one of my things.
Yep.
And then just be looking for perception check on orc-looking skulls.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check then with that. So you're looking around for, kind of going around the bodies that you see.
I'll be doing the
11.
same up top though, because I'm not going out into that tiny hole.
Okay. I mean,
There was a lot of bodies up top where we were, and then
there's
we're
a
down
few.
below.
There's the majority of them are in the nest, but good amount. There's still a few that are like scattered around the entrance. Galil, what are you doing?
I'm gonna jump on Oreo and jump in to the hole with Sonder, but make sure that we're flying to the point where we don't touch the ground. I'm gonna use my mantle to cover up my mouth.
Okay. It's not a terribly large like lair or nest, but it's not small either. I was gonna go into that next. It's probably, I would say, about 50 to 60 feet across, and then probably about another 60 to 70 feet deep. So it's a sizable little like cave, but it's not like, it's neither small nor large enough to be like where it looks like an extension of this cave. It definitely looks like it was carved out of the wall itself and kind of created as a little nest. It has that like sloping bowl, and a lot of the bodies that are there in the center look to be it's almost like a feasting pit. Like there's just a more mass of decay, bones, and rotting stink that happens here in the center. And then the outer edges closer to the walls, it looks like there are like spots that have been smoothed out and like laid in enough to where you can see it almost looks like like a bunch of little nests on the side of this bowl.
How long or like steep is that slope going down into it?
It's probably a good 45 degrees.
Okay, like
It's difficult.
10 feet down.
Like how far down does it go?
I'll use Pythagoras.
I would say we'll just say it's about 30 feet, because if it's about 60, 70 feet across, then it's going to be about like a 30 to 35 foot like dip down before it comes back up again.
All
Okay.
the dead, rotting dead.
It kind of
Bodies?
just
That smell covers up whatever smell Oreo was tracking, right?
It seems like, well, I mean, who knows? Whatever it was that he was tracking seems to have led him here. Whether or not it's covering that up or she is now smelling all of it is kind of hard to say, but this was definitely a scent that they had caught and then followed to this point. Sonder, what did you roll? What was your roll again?
Muted.
We got an 11 for investigation.
11 for investigation. Going through and like stepping carefully, the further in you go, the deeper your feet are starting to sink into the mud. And you kind of have to balance your usage of, I'd probably say like you use a little bit of your ability with water to kind of give yourself a little more solid footing. But even so, like your feet are sinking into the mud the closer into the center you get, because this is where all the liquid kind of seems to be pooling. And because of that, even with the mask, I'm like making myself gag. Even with the mask on your face, like it's just, whenever you take a step, sometimes it's completely smooth, and then sometimes you'll feel like a solid, like you're stepping on a branch or a bone that's been deeply buried. And so it kind of gives you this really strange feeling of just like, it distracts you a little bit as you're like looking through. You find plenty of different kinds of bodies down here. Nothing that looks fresh enough to, I mean, you do see some half-orc like skulls around, but nothing that retains anything that would be recognizable otherwise. And it looks well gnawed and non-existent. You know, it's like it's been here for a while and chewed through.
I wish they would have given us, I'll say, an Aquin through my mask, so it kind of to Galil. I wish they would have given us more details on each of these people. There's plenty of orcs down here.
And as a side note, all of you have a telepathic bond for the next...
I would say it's probably about out now.
How long does it last?
An hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's probably gone. So you do have, other than that... Oh, okay. So then... I thought it was a little longer lasting than that, but...
That's the downside about it.
Okay.
But as he's doing that...
Heard what he said?
I would imagine. Maybe.
I'll bag one of the orc skulls that looks more masculine.
Okay.
Is it fresh?
Yeah.
Okay, as I've made my way to like where the pit starts and where I cast erupting earth and all those spikes came up. I'm pulling out from my bag a 50-foot silken rope, and I tie it onto one of the spikes and then get ready and toss it down for them.
Okay.
In case you need to come up fast.
Who?
As I'm flying.
Arjun, you
Oh,
said
yeah.
you were watching the outer edges of the light, right? Trying to watch you guys' back.
Not our back, more of our front.
Okay.
Like down into the depths of the pit. Like
See if anything else
beyond
crawls
the
out.
nest. Yeah, because that's where it seemed like all the noise was coming from.
The noise is coming from outside the cave.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Aaron,
Yeah.
Then that's what he'd be focused on.
Yeah, that's
Are
why I
we-
kind of. That's why I figured.
Yeah,
Was,
that's
they
what
were
confused
like
me.
deeper in the cave, not so much inside the lair, but further back in the where you guys had come from, basically out in that space.
Oh, okay.
Soul, go ahead.
So that's what Soul wanted to do, is to do perceptions and try to, I guess, do perceptions to focus on hearing if it sounds like anything is coming in from the outside of this room.
Okay. Renan, go ahead.
So you've been to Natural Bridge Caverns before?
A long time ago. Yes.
Okay, never. Because I was thinking of a specific section that
Oh, okay.
I feel like it reminds me of, and I'm trying to make a picture in my head.
Yeah.
And if that was what it looked like to you, then that would be great. Then I'm just looking around outside for anything that seems to stand out as looking like it hasn't been in here as long as other things.
Okay.
Less so than looking for something in particular, because there's a lot of stuff
Okay.
going on.
As Soul, go ahead and make a perception. Did you make a perception check for me?
Yeah, 19.
19. Soul and Arjun, as you guys are kind of keeping an eye out at the edges of the light.
I'd be
Where it is.
rolling as well.
I mean, did you roll earlier?
No.
Okay, go ahead and roll if you wish. I was just saying this. If you're generally watching, but go ahead and make a roll. We'll see how well you pick things out.
19.
Okay. Looking out past the light that is shining out into the beyond sections of this little lair, your eyes catch little glimpses of movement just beyond the reaches of the light. Enough to where you can't tell if it's just the dust that is kind of moving, or if that's not dust but dark and muddy skin that you can just barely perceive prowling at the edges of the light. At the dimmest of shadows, you swear you see a gnarly, long, taloned, clawed hand that just kind of presses into the mud before it like pulls back and away into the shadow as it like seems to crawl on hands and knees and legs, moving there on the edges, just waiting. You hear tiny bits of sound, just like little. It's almost like slight whispers, ragged breaths, just kind of echoing throughout the cave, but it's almost indistinguishable from the occasional little drops of water that hit and echo across pools that are also located in the cave. Galil, as you are circling around, there's that tingling sense that goes into the back of your neck once again. That sense of a presence filtering into the back of your mind. Something is watching through what you can see. You get this urge that something about this darkness, about this cave, seems to be striking your interests, someone's interests.
Want to hack Galil's eyes with the scry. Fuck.
You know, using your beast's natural adaptations to hunt down this lair was smart.
Sometimes I have some smart ideas.
Indeed. I wouldn't be interested in you if you didn't. You should
Is
destroy
this what
this
you want
nest.
to see? And why is that?
No. This is a distraction, but a valuable one. You don't want to be
Distraction
stuck
from
up
what?
on. Well, you're down here for a job, aren't you?
Yeah.
Then finish it.
Sonder, jump out.
I'm coming. Go grab the dagger.
As you hold the light source within your hand, it makes the shadows around you jump and move in strange ways as you're like grabbing onto it as you're pulling yourself up. The light shakes and moves. Arjun, you see there at the edges of the light, the creatures just beyond that shadow move closer. And then suddenly, as the light shifts once again, they're seen 3, 4 of those creatures spread apart at different edges of the light, scurry back into the darkness, some climbing up walls as quickly as they can, escaping the light as trying to be unseen. But you saw them, and just in that moment, and you can hear the clacking of claws and moving on stone. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you would have seen them. Arjun, what were you gonna go ahead and say?
So how far away would I have seen this at?
Well, if the light goes out about 120 feet, we'll say probably about 120 feet from where you're at. It's right at the very edges. It's not like it's very, they're not close, but they are just staying away from the light.
That's even far enough for me. That's
I lift 5 feet off the ground so that I'm not casting a shadow that they can directly walk through.
Oh, okay. Well, and it's not like they're avoiding it because of pain. They're just trying to be.
Oh, that's fine. That's not a problem.
Okay.
That's,
Go ahead, Sandra. What were you gonna say?
Can I hear them like?
Make a perception check as you're climbing.
I'm also gonna hold Word of Radiance as an action, or as a, I'm gonna hold that action. If
20.
one of them attacks me, that's what I will be doing.
22.
Okay.
Considering I'm standing a little ways into the opening.
You get to the top of the opening where Kindred has the silken rope tied to that piece of earth that is jutting out, and your ear catches those extra sounds. I would say by the time you get up there, maybe not so much when you're in the pit and everyone, there's kind of more distraction of Oreo flying about and stuff, but once you get up there, you just kind of catch the sound of maybe tumbling rock that falls off in the distance.
I'm gonna do like 2 or 3 Zuko fire fists as a scare them off type of thing.
Mind you, this is about 100 feet away. This is not close. You can see pretty far into the cave.
Yeah.
So I don't know how far those fire fists can go.
5 feet, just a little.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was that for?
Sonder, go ahead. Not Sonder.
Okay.
Galil. Because I was looking this direction.
Wow.
Go on.
I'm gonna listen to the voice for once, and actually, as soon as I see Sonder jump out, cast firebolt everywhere. And start burning down the nest.
What is going on? Do y'all see something I don't?
We hear something you don't.
Okay, start pulling, untying the rope.
Yeah, I'll
Gotta
pull
go,
the rope
gotta
in,
go.
too.
You start, as you do this last little circle and flyby, you keep unleashing these fire bolts into mounds of flesh, and they just impact. And there's a little bit of bursting outwards of dirt and undescribables, but it doesn't catch anything on fire. It creates little pock marks and holes here, but it doesn't There's no blaze.
First,
Yeah.
we have oil. Do we want to piss these things off?
Okay, don't say it twice. And as soon as I like put the rope back in my bag, I fumble around an extra second, pull out some oil, and I uncork it. And where'd you see him?
Towards the edges.
Okay, I chunk it.
Are you
And then
checking
after
it
it's
out
emit-
of the cave or into the cave?
Because they're into the cave.
No,
right?
they are behind you.
Oh, behind.
Yes.
Oh, I'm
they're
thinking down
between.
in.
No. There is nothing in here because you can see all the way around this cave entrance, this cave bit.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just destroying the nest.
He's just destroying the nest.
You're
It
gonna need
is-
to do a little more damage, Moonblood.
So then behind me, where we came from, as far as I'm aware, that's kind of like the only entrance, right?
Where you are standing, there are 3 different directions that go off into darkness.
The closest one to me, I'm chunking it oil.
Okay, turning around and facing
Where we haven't been
outwards.
yet.
There are so you have the way that you came. You'll have another passage that is like directly in front of the cave that kind of continues outwards, and then
Like a bucket.
you know what? I'm
Yeah, the
just gonna-
closest one to me, because I'm not that strong. I just want to get it in an
Yeah.
entrance.
Bucket nest.
Yes, exactly. Let me.
Like
You
a
know,
wish. Not a wish.
You're gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna cast Dragon's Breath on Oreo and use her to breathe fire all over.
Okay, listen here, Daenerys.
I was considering it, but I'm gonna save mine for later.
Okay, so let's just say I'm drawing this out real quick.
You mean you still don't have the map saved from last week?
Well, I'm doing a smaller scale.
A smaller scale.
A smaller scale. So, we'll say that
That's a body.
that's a body.
Oh,
We're gonna need another Timmy.
Okay, so
Oh, I do see the body.
this we'll say that this little ooze here, and I'm gonna put the map on the maps cam.
yeah, it looks like a body whose like torso, top, and like part of the bottom got 8.
Oh no, wait, is map cam not working?
It
Map
is-
cam,
wait,
no.
It is. Oh, wow.
Oh,
not
no.
on.
Yeah, not on Twitch. All right.
Map
So this is the where you guys would be at, right? This is the little cave where the
little
pocket
part.
is. Yes, where the center of the bowl is. You guys came from this direction, and you have out this way and out this way are just pitch black. You have cave wall
if-
and cave wall.
Am I right to remember that there were little holes coming out of the, like little holes like jutting in and out of the pocket?
No, there were just like
Nope.
little indentions where it's like a little nest or something would lay there over time and it's just smoothed it out. So it just makes these little, the holes that I was saying are just more like little nest pockets that are kind of lined up around the outer edges here.
Okay, so then if you're looking at the map, I'm gonna throw the oil at the 12 o'clock tunnel since it looks smaller.
Up this direction?
Yep.
So there's
and wherever
not
I see it
another-
crash, firebolt.
There's not another passage on the other side
Of this
the
one? No.
pit?
No, this
Okay,
just
that's
kind of
where I
that's
thought we were.
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. So this is basically like a layer that was dug into this wall here and just hollowed out to make room for them. And so it's like
And
a
now
little
it's on
nest. And now it's on
What is it? It's like a cul-de-sac.
Yeah. Except it's a cold bodies.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
So you
Something like that.
Fling it
Ah,
out.
you say through the voice.
What is?
I can do a strength check.
yeah,
Just yeah.
and then
The
using
wizard making a strength check.
I got an 8.
Yeah,
it
seems
flies
about
out. It flies out about like
Somehow goes
about,
backwards.
it flies out about like 30 feet and hits the ground and splashes outwards on
Firebolt.
like a rock. The flames burn and instantly start to create this little patch of bright hot heat as it kind of extends the light a little bit from where Sonder was standing with the dagger that had the light on it. Hey Vix, as you guys are now standing there, Galil circling around this nest. Oreo starts breathing fire, burning bits and pieces, and then occasionally you can see there's a little bit of flesh here that starts burning, something catches, but this area is just so wet, nothing, it's just kind of scorching the ground, and you can see kind of smoke and sizzle and heat, and it's kind of making the smell worse as now there is the scent of like burnt hair or fabric and rotted meat, so it's this weird
You're gonna make me
smell
gag.
that is filling the space.
Not this one. Do I see what's going on with Galil?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you can't really miss a fire-breathing lion with wings that is burning a pit from the inside as he's circling around and has been shooting fire bolts at like different parts.
So I want to do a perception check to see if I notice any section of the cave that he's in that looks like it's a major load-bearing area of the walls.
Okay. Go for it. Iskra, what are you?
Turn back to,
what are you doing?
Sonder and be like, "Ask and you shall receive."
That is a 23.
23. I would say that there looks like there are some sections of the ceiling and wall that this is not built. You could probably imagine you could find a couple of spots that would probably aid in like collapsing it. This wasn't like made. Yeah, this wasn't made by like super intelligent creatures. This was just burrowed in basically, right? So probably
I'm looking for unintentional weak spots.
yeah.
That
You
they
could probably find a couple.
accidentally-
Yeah,
Okay.
you could probably.
Just standing ready after checking the bodies, and if I don't see anything that's,
Okay.
of value to us, and just be prepared for whatever happens next.
Okay. Then in that case, yes, you do see some Renan. Galil.
Not particularly knowing why Galil is doing this, just that he's suddenly trying to burn everything with
Fire.
a lot of significant effort. It looks like.
Hmm.
I'm somewhat panicked at that, so I'll fly down to the entrance and yell in Celestial, "Get out of the cave!"
Or in
Did anybody understand that?
all of it, most of us.
Celestial.
Yeah, a lot of us. A lot of us.
Galil
Soul
and
doesn't.
I was like, I think it's only Galil and Kindred and Sonder, right? You
Sonder.
guys. So yeah, so half.
Watching for Galil to actually react at this point.
Like all the way back out of the beginning of the cave, or what?
What are you doing, Galil?
I turn to look back at you like,
Duh.
I'm still having Oreo breathe out the fire, but
Yeah.
I'm also gonna have her like fly outside of it
Okay.
and continue from there.
Okay. So he's outside the cave now.
as soon as everybody's out, the
It has
far-
yet to be translated for the drow, so I don't know what's
Right.
actually happening now.
Are you out?
not going
Or are
anywhere.
you in there?
I'm still in there because no
Oh, I
one's
thought
told me
everybody
anything.
was out. My bad.
You
No.
said it in Celestial.
You did.
and
No,
half
but-
of us don't understand Celestial.
You don't know, but you guys were inside of the cave. You were on the outside,
Wow,
hadn't
this is
gotten
like
in,
being
right?
on the plane, and they give you the wrong translation on purpose for the safety instructions.
But you guys weren't in the cave. That was
Not in the burrow.
you weren't in the burrow.
Okay.
That's,
Yeah.
that's why
Oh,
that
burrow.
instruction was given. Yes. So it was given
Okay.
to the right
There's
people.
only one person that needed to understand it, and that person was given the information in a language they would understand.
Yes.
And I'll far enough in that hopefully it's not gonna have any outstretching consequences, but I'll cast
Oh.
Shatter on the weak points toward the ceiling or towards the walls that
Oh,
hopefully
fuck.
will bring down the burrow.
Okay. Where is it? I think it's this one. So you cast. How many times are you casting this?
I mean, up to 3 times if it doesn't do the trick.
All right. So first blast goes off, and it just kind of like brings in and like creates this like tear in both the air and the ground around it. You can see it. It's almost like an impact on the ground. It just shatters outwards. And you can see parts of the rock and ceiling collapse downwards. Probably.
What the fuck are you doing? You gonna bring this down on all of us?
But you just see parts of the mud cave inwards.
I'm gonna like head over towards where Soul's at. And
I say in
witness and
common.
watch this.
Did you do it again, Renan?
How much collapsed?
Just a small portion, maybe like a fourth, if that.
Yeah, I'll do it again.
One more blast echoes out and like tears across the ground and just it like shatters outwards, and you can see now half of the cave start collapsing and then more pieces smothering and covering the center section and most of the inner section. There's like a little bit of this cave that at the entrance is still not collapsed, but the majority of that back end is now covered in rubble. And you feel the ground around you kind of shake a little bit, but nothing else seems to fall or collapse. A little bit of dust falls from the ceiling around you, but that's it.
This is where I go up to Renan because I assume he's kind of by me, not too far. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you will speak to us here? What did you see? Because as we saw something that way, as I like look back and like trying to bounce back and forth, like what is everyone seeing?
Galil, your
Perception
attention's... You're okay. Go ahead. Galil, you're still focused on the cave after having seen it collapsed. You feel that presence in you once again, and it's... I wouldn't say happy is a strong word to use, but it seems like a positive response.
This is good. Less of a chance for them to sneak up on you. Obliterating their lair will keep them occupied.
I think I should have listened to you before.
You see, we should be working together.
You said you wanted to see what I see, right?
Very much so. We can use it to each other's advantage.
Then let's try right now. Renan, get up here.
I look over from 5 feet from you. Kidding.
No.
Renan! Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. I'm gonna do something that will probably be bad. So do me a
God.
I love
so
that
probably
phrase.
do me a favor.
I love
and
that
make
phrase
sure
in D&D.
I'm
This is
safe.
how campaigns end.
Wait, which way? What?
That's just idea to say, I would rather not have to kill you. I'm quite fond of your presence.
Just make sure nothing bad happens to my body.
No guarantees. I'm gonna start running back where we came from when telling the others like they're doing something. Let's go, go.
They're not that far off. Everyone's
I know,
probably
but I'm
about
running.
like everyone's probably like about 30 feet in different directions, but
Maximum.
basically within 30
As I'm
feet.
like full on like air traffic control, like go that way. We're leaving. They're gonna do something.
Sonder, you still have the light, correct? Are you holding it up or like holding it out so it lights up the area? Okay. Before we get to you, Galil, what are you, Sonder or Soul? God damn it, Soul and Argent. Whoever was first.
Go ahead, Saul.
So I don't think Soul even knows what's going on with Galil and Renan, but what he's going to do is he's going to take out his whip and hold action. If anything comes like within light, 10
Yeah.
feet, I think it is, he'll
Okay.
attack.
Right now, you have a buffer of probably almost like 100 feet of light in different directions because of how far out this light. Well, 100 feet in all directions.
Because I don't have.
Yeah. Is it 100 feet this way and 100 feet this way, or if you're in the middle, is it like 50 feet and 50
It's
feet?
a radius.
Is it radius or
It's
diameter?
a radius.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
yeah.
it's. I can look at this spell real quick.
That's
Yeah.
really
Big
bright.
flashlight.
Holy
Yeah.
Big
crap.
flashlight.
That you have a giant LED military surplus LED light flashlight going on right now.
Yeah, so it's a 60-foot radius sphere of
Okay.
the bright light. It is a 60-foot further dim light.
220
Oh
feet.
snap! Okay, got it.
So it's 3.
Yeah, you have lit
No,
up
it's-
a majority of this cave section.
It's 240 feet total
Yeah,
in
yeah.
width.
Did you get sunburned?
That's 120 feet.
No,
No,
What?
that's Galileo.
no, it's 120 of bright.
I'm
It's
thinking one
another
way
60
radius.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's another 60 of dim. So
Arjun, what were we gonna say?
I'm gonna make it worse.
Cool.
That's the spirit.
So I'm gonna extend that light slightly and cast dancing lights, because if there's this much light to work with and all these things are kind of skittering about kind of at the fringes of where light is, I kind of want to try and corral them away from us. I want to chase them with the dancing lights to
Okay.
get them as far away from us as possible.
How far? What is the range of your dancing lights spell?
120 from me. So I
Okay.
kind of, like if they start to come closer, I kind of just want to move it in
Keep your
front of them.
yeah,
kind of thing,
move
and just sort
away
of
from the
usher
party
them out.
enough, and just kind of use the dancing lights to kind of move around. Cool. All
What
right.
appearance do your dancing lights take?
Kind of a sort of dim magenta.
That's cool. I like that.
Alrighty.
What was
That
that
being
giggle for?
that being said, Galil and Arjun, what is going on with you right now?
Well, I just
Oh,
went.
not Arjun.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he-
God damn it. Galil and Renan.
Wow.
It's that kind of night, isn't
mixing
it?
up your
Apparently.
errors, my friend.
Listen, I know. I'm
I'm like the
missing.
parent that calls the kids each
I have
other.
so many children to keep track of right now.
Until you get through everyone. and then you
Everyone's
say
name.
the correct one the
You
very
right
last.
there. Whatever your name is, I will find you and I will find out. All right, what are you guys doing?
Well, I'm going to prepare in case I feel the need for it. Dispel evil and good. If I
Get a
I
vibe.
feel like, yeah, if I get a vibe, I'll cast Dispel evil and good immediately.
Cool. Galil, what are you doing?
I'm actually gonna listen to the voice once and force a vision of what else is in here.
Mhm.
Okay. Give me a specific sentence for this vision. What are like as if you were doing a prayer, like
Want the winning Powerball numbers.
Only.
Just to show me the dangers that lie within.
your eyes go black.
Oh, how do you get those moments? It's amazing.
Renan, you see this change on his face. This blackness that covers his eyes mixed with like shoots of fire or flame that kind of burn at the edges. He grips onto Oreo's fur and seems to just stare out into nothing. His mouth moving, but no sounds coming out. Galil, through your eyes, you see flashes, strange places within this cave, fields of mud, pools of water, small creatures that move through shadow, barely touching the surface as they crawl across. You almost see yourselves from an outside perspective, the edges of this light like a beacon in this giant cave that you can now see images of. And at the edges of that light, ants, no, small creatures moving up walls, along the ceiling, along the floors, amassing at the edges of this light, not straying in. Your mind flashes again forward, flying through tunnels that you can't, some you have seen, some you have not. A dead end, a section walled off with stone and a single large iron wrought door. Flashes of metal, armor, someone hiding behind stone. You flash again, moving through tunnels, collapses around corners. Figures walk in shadow and darkness. Their skin pruned, reddish and pink almost in the strange light that you see them in. Walking almost like step. The figure turns. As it turns, its eyes are hollow, nothing within. A mouth agape, missing tongue, but then a tongue slithers out and wraps around its head before getting sucked back inside of its mouth. Move further into other pits of darkness. More creatures that sit in shadow, waiting, hungry, lonely. It goes further, deeper into the cave. You can feel yourself pulling down further into the depths. Nothing on the ground, a smooth circular tunnel, and then as your vision moves upwards, bats? No, leathery wings, large, pulling with darkness. Somewhere in that tunnel, a large creature lurks. Its bottom half covered in torn cloth. You see what looks like two large arms that just hold close to its chest, before one extends outwards, clawing at a dead body that is on the ground. Three large, bony pincers pick up this body and bring it closer to inspect. The vision shifts back through shadow. More. There are things, more of the same kind of creatures, but they are scattered about in different places. You can feel your lungs burning as if you're holding your breath, your body shaking. And then your eyes return. Clear. You can see where you are at again. Go ahead and roll for me. For a minute, Renan, as you were watching this happen and his mouth kind of just moving in silent, and then all of a sudden he shakes and it kind of startles you for it. You don't realize how much time has passed, but his eyes kind of shake and you almost expect him to just fall off Oreo altogether as his body kind of slightly convulses and seizes and his eyes become clear once again. Khalil, something's...
Experience, I'm sure.
Galil, you reach out to that presence in your mind. It's still there in the back, waiting. Hello.
Well, I can tell you're doing something, but I can't see.
Couldn't see that?
So you did peer.
Yeah.
Clearly, we don't know each other well enough yet. I appreciate your trust in me, though.
I think it's about time.
Give me some time to consider. I may still be able to help.
Will do.
All right. As that, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sense an image faintly. But it's not quite clear enough.
Which image?
Flashes. Flashes of this place.
The presence starts to withdraw a little bit. Khalil, if you'll roll for me on your table, please, and send me your results.
I did. And I'm gonna hate you. I hate you so much for it.
I didn't do anything. You're the one who rolled it, so. But yeah, Renan, you were saying how he, you were speaking to him, I think, in the moment.
Yeah. But that looks like it was an interesting experience, if nothing else.
I saw what's down here.
Much.
Something very dangerous, that's for sure.
Did it look like anything that you have seen before?
A lot more of these creatures.
Well, I think we have discovered that we can handle them.
But there was something else with pincers. I think
Well,
that's the one that scared me the most.
you know, when it comes to something with pincers, the only question I have before I decide whether to be scared of it or not is how big was it?
Your mind goes back to that moment when you saw it pick up a body. It was large. Its hands had picked it up like one of those toy games
Yeah.
and just kind of picked up this body before the image faded. You hear skittering at the edges of the light once again, and we'll say Soul, in the direction that you were looking, you see something move at the edges of the shadow, far, far too away to use your whip, but you see it just kind of skitter across. A humanoid moving on hands and legs that is going much too fast to be normal.
I'm going to kind of put my hand on Saunders' chest to get his attention, and I'm going to try to keep my eyes on it, and then I'll like go like this to kind of motion to him where I'm looking. Notice to portray that I'm noticing someone.
Yeah. Yep.
I need to make a perception check to see it. I'm going to use the thing that Iskra does for muting from here on out. Because too many times today.
No, you're good. You're good.
Nice.
All right. But you watch it move, and it's not like it is. It's just occasional that you see it there at the edge of the shadows. It is not trying to push towards you. It is just lurking. The moment, whatever these creatures are, seem to be held at bay by this large light. What are you guys doing?
We could use this. We could use this light to keep them away, it seems.
I think I'd prefer to get out of this room. I don't like it here.
Right. Well, we got what we came for. Kind of. I don't know if the others will be here, but I did not see any red-headed women, or, I mean, there were some other dead people, but I don't assume them to be any of the ones we were looking for. It's hard to tell between them all. I feel like I smell terrible.
You do.
Yeah. Good thing I,
Everything smells terrible right now.
good thing I'm immune to disease.
All right.
Okay. Well, I'll stay on the spice. Remember, I think we got what we came for. Should head out or continue forward.
I assume I've made my way up to them where they're at by now. Like, I don't know. Those two are down there talking. Actually, they're not talking. I don't know. And I'm like, are y'all coming? What are y'all doing? And I'll just like start scanning the horizon as well as I'm standing with Sonder and Soul, waiting for these two to whatever they're doing. Occasionally looking back.
Throw a bone at one of them.
With my
Or, like,
eyes
in their area.
shaking, I want to answer to Renan. It picked up a body. Like nothing.
And I suppose I will be scared of this one. I have had a conversation with a spider the size of a living room, but this one, on the other hand, I am prepared to be afraid of.
Question: the flashes.
Mhm.
Do I recognize the pathway that the vision took?
There were some hallways that seemed familiar, like the tunnel that you had been in before you had left the party following the scent. There are other parts of the tunnel that you haven't seen before but reminded you of something similar. And then there are places that you guys haven't seen yet at all. But nothing, it didn't seem to follow in any sequential order. Like, it was like in a sequence of where it was just things that were here and there and there and there.
Okay.
Well, I suppose that we might as well get started. We're never going to find the scary pincers if we do not start walking. And I start heading back towards the group.
I'll follow.
Okay.
So, Sonder, you found one of them? Am I
There
understanding
were-
that right?
There were a couple of orc-looking skulls. Decided to just pick the one that looked the most masculine. It's hard to tell between all the bodies and skulls down there. But this is it.
Indrid, I
Oh.
suppose you could ask it a question or two, no?
First question I'm gonna ask though, can we go somewhere not here because there's things?
Right,
Don't see
Why
them.
don't we
should
go
head
back
out.
to the cage?
Please.
Soul
like
knows this
ourselves
one.
in,
Know where
does
to go.
do the
smell
thing.
a lot.
Yes. So let's go. Questions later.
Oh, it's yeah. I forgot that.
You have obviously never been thrown into a pile of dragon dung, and it shows. And I start walking with him.
You'd
It
be
also-
surprised of the rituals that dragon worshipping can put you in.
Okay,
I believe
Renan gags at that one.
What?
Arjun laughs and just starts leading the way back because he has the key.
Dragon dung
okay.
has a slight pungent
seems
sweet
like-
smell, so
It seems like these creatures do not enter into the light, so I think we should all just stay close together by Sonda, who is holding this glowing knife.
agreed. I'll give that back to Renando.
I hold it, but I hold it up very, I am Statue of Liberty kind of bullshit. Trying to make sure that the light goes over everybody.
Yeah.
With that though, it may be wiser to try to take these things out as we encounter them, rather than continue on until we run into more. At some point, we will be having a following of these creatures large enough to potentially kill us all. But we know we can take on a few of them.
How many are there? I mean, this place is like a nest. Is there possibly a queen?
I look over at Galil.
Did we get a sense of how many that were kind of just scattering around at the edges of the light, or
I think you said
So-
5.
You
that we
saw 4 or 5 that skittered away.
so about the same number that we fought
But
earlier?
you hear occasionally what
Yeah.
sounds like a lot more. So those were just the ones that were the closest. So you go heading north?
No, we're going to head back to the cage.
Okay. Well,
What?
that you would have to go north.
That was what was said.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had
'Cause,
just gone down.
southwest.
Yes. You go. There was like a. Because basically, yeah, when you had reached that intersection, you went southwest instead. And there was like where that wall that had been on your left hand side is now going to continue to divide that space. So you go and continue upwards, heading north till you get to the
Intersection.
that intersection again.
Yeah.
The space that you are lighting completely up, and now you only have 2 directions of darkness, one into the front and one to the back. And as you guys continue forward, you can hear the continuation of those creatures following you just from a distance, just beyond the light. Occasionally your eyes catch the glint of the light catching in something else's eyes. Up, down along the ground, you see pairs upon pairs.
So what?
And even as
time-
you were
ahead.
walking, things, debris, rocks fall along the walls where you're at, from high above you, where there is darkness beyond. You imagine that they are probably up there too, just out of range of the light.
So roughly about what time would it be for us now? Because I know we started this towards nightfall, so it's probably getting dark, and we've been up all day long.
Yeah, probably.
Go ahead, Graham.
At any point as we're traveling back, does it get to be a little bit more bottlenecked? Like ceilings a little bit lower, caves are narrower.
It gets to that point once you get to the intersection. At that intersection was where, if you continued north, it kind of funneled down into that smaller tunnel where you guys were at.
So once we get there, once we go back to the cage, can we rest? I'll put up the dome, but after the cage, because it's late and I don't want to be tired with all these things tracking us. That way I can use something big right now.
We don't.
Very true.
What is the reason we're going back to the cage already?
To get a break, ask questions, regroup, rethink this, and try to get some rest. and some protection. But I'd
Good.
like to know now before these things kind of crumb up too far.
Yeah, I got an idea about that. If we can kind of get a little further along, find a bottleneck, and I'm going to lay down something in our tracks to dissuade them.
Oh, I can just block it completely.
So you have at this point you have a choice. You can we'll say that you have reached this intersection, continue north into the deep parts of the tunnel where you first found evidence of a struggle. We'll say here the walls are manageably. You can see the ceiling. It is only about like 30 or 40 feet above, and then to the each side, I think it was what. I don't remember now.
I think you said maybe like 10-ish, 15 feet. Because we
No, it was wider because you could
much more than that.
Yeah, it was wider because you could each like almost.
I feel like it was 60
50?
foot
Yes.
across.
I got it.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, because we could see even the person with the lowest night vision, which I think was Iskra in
Yeah,
this
but
situation,
okay, that's
could
what I was
still
thinking.
see.
Okay, dope.
Wow, Sonder.
Good
Nice.
job, Sonder. Good job. Yeah, because it was going to say like 80 feet across. Each of you could be about like 10 feet. You could see each other at its widest because it wasn't constantly 80, but generally speaking, it was probably around there. You could either go in there and have, one full direction where you can see them coming towards you, so to speak, or you head, which would be southeast at this point, back towards where the cage is, but you're returning into the depths of the cavern where the ceiling is beyond the reaches of this light. Where you are at right now, at this intersection, that dome of light that you are casting, you can see the ceiling above and the walls around you. Well, you know that there's nothing above you.
I would make the argument that if we return to the cage, we can all get some rest. We can get our answers, just as Kindred had stated. But most importantly, I can put out the light, and perhaps we can draw them in. When I cast the light again, we can attack them from within the cage.
Sounds good enough for me. Stand back, everyone.
I don't
If
think
there's any
that.
chance the people are still alive down here, don't we think time is a little bit of the essence?
Right.
Yeah, I'd agree. Also, to Renan's idea, if you can make them gather together close, I could do a fairy spell on it, make them glow in the dark.
From what I've heard so far, there are far too many of them to kill. This is their home.
And they're not the only things down.
Right. This would be like trying to kill a colony of ants in one go
It's
in their
possible.
territory.
It is possible. But
I think the difference here is that the ants are the size of us.
We
Slightly
have our
different
limits. We have
So
our limits. We have a mission. And if we
Khalil,
continue
you
forward,
need to tell them.
Tell us what.
I listen to
you're-
that voice. Final.
Your mind flashes to the vision of the creatures just beyond the light. Dozens, hundreds.
So, as we've been talking and sitting here, does it look like these things are starting to catch up to us?
They have never not been
Like,
close.
Yeah, but-
There's not like you can hear the sound of movement. It sound as quiet as they are moving. There's still the sound of scratching and movement beyond that line of darkness that adds to that anxiety that is kind of mounting. Here where you are at now, at this intersection, it somehow seems lessened. But they are still there.
Okay. Well, we're taking too much time. I'm doing this, and once everyone's out of that entrance, and we're like all standing there, I start looking down the tunnel, and I start weaving some signs, and doing all this shit, and then I just kind of lift up, and I will cast Wall of Stone. And I get to place 10 by 10 square structures, so I will place them and plug this whole tunnel up as best I can.
Okay. I will
And
say
it's go ahead.
there is a spot a little further in, probably about 50 or 60 feet into the tunnel, where it really begins to narrow before it widens out again into that wider 80-foot space. You take the narrowest bottleneck that you can and plug this hole with stone. All the rock rises upwards, shuttering it in, blocking the entrance, obscuring whatever else was in that darkness and shadow beyond.
So it's a concentration spell of 10 minutes, but if I maintain concentration for the entire time, it becomes permanent.
I need to learn to do that, Kindred.
Well,
I touch the wall.
you never
As-
seem to not surprise me.
I always try to be prepared. Now this gives us some time. What are we doing?
Sorry, just one quick thing. As Kindred was starting to, because it was a ritual, right?
No, it's instant.
Oh, it's instantaneous. Oh, never mind then.
Well, it's one action.
So within those like 6 seconds, it just kind of starts like
Okay.
bunch of earth dominoes come. It
I
almost,
was going to give him some extra time to make it or help buffer his concentration a bit, but never mind.
Okay. It almost you could even say that it almost looks like teeth like coming up and down from the ceiling in the ground, just to like shutting the entrance.
The scene from Avatar when they're having the dance party.
Yes. Yes.
So
That is
each,
exactly
when they
what I'm
leave it
imagining
too.
right now.
each
when they
panel
leave it
is
too.
10 by 10 feet, and they are 6 inches thick. So
Alright, cool.
it's
It's decently sized rock,
Yeah.
solid stone. All right. For the
as long
moment,
as you don't interrupt me or annoy me enough to lose my concentration, this will become permanent, and this gives us time.
Just start
At the
flicking
very
Kindred
least-
in the temple.
At the very
Want to-
least, they will only have
the rock
directions
crumbles.
to come from.
Right? You
Just a
hear
little,
like dust.
a little yellow dust.
Giant pincher guy is on the other side now.
Do we need to go down that direction at all?
That direction would be the direction towards the cage, and any of the other elevators that might lead you up to the surface. So, if you're intending to go back up in that direction, yes, you need to go back that way again. But if you're intending on finding another way out, who knows what lies further to the north within these caves. And I will say for that, we're going to go on break. This is a good stopping point for the moment as we refill our water flagons or whatever.
Well, the 10
and-
minutes of break, that's 10 minutes of concentration time. We're golden.
I got you.
Yay,
Perfect.
loopholes.
Now you're thinking with breaks.
Perfect. We will be right back. Give us about like 10 minutes and we shall return.
What?
Hello, everybody.
Was someone having a stroke?
Oh, hello.
Hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
We come back to the smell of toast.
Yeah.
Oh no. Actually,
Buttered toast.
as
I can't believe we're all back on time.
I know, right? Ish. Oh, Dreamy! Everyone was like ready. We have Dreamy and Akatsuki who are like shaking the van right now. Let him out! Let him out! Let him out!
You said buttered toast.
So, as
That was a sulfur moment. Okay.
as the party is gathered around the little fire, the little teeny chippy versions of the party dance around and sit on little logs, toasting marshmallows and ready for their little short rest. Just kidding.
This I really want to play Chrono Trigger now.
Hey, Iskra.
Hey,
hello.
Iskra! Would you try these
And
mushrooms
there's
with
just
me?
like sort of like a little like
The little bloop.
pixely beeping and then text appears.
Oh. I knew Froggy would love this. He's like, yeah. tiny chibi versions
really
of the
worried
part of
that
the
we're
brigade dance around.
Well,
I'm so worried
Renan
we're going to
has
be eaten
drawn
by
them that way.
monsters.
I've
Yep.
never been in a cave like this before! Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
As your little character chibi just continues like the mouth flopping until you push A.
Amazing. Yes. It all fades away into a daydream as the dark reality of sitting in a dark cave.
Is that us
Comes back.
disassociating?
Basically, it's a slight panic. No big deal. I would like to try and draw everyone in my cartoony style. Do it, Froggy.
Yes.
Do it. I'll
Yes,
send you.
please.
We have the chibi versions that Renan did, and then you can just like cartoonify them even more if you wish. That would be fun.
I can't believe you're not drawing it right now.
If I
What
need
is
to
wrong with you?
send these cheapy versions to anyone, by all means, message me.
I love that we have so many artists in our crew.
I know.
That's pretty great.
And a
You
card
guys-
artist too.
Have just
Never know who.
And we were just playing a very long game of Among Us. Anyway, you guys have just watched in this like slightly what is the word I'm looking for? Foreboding sense as like Kindred closes the wall, the last little bit of light shining into the cave, and you can hear the sounds still echoing now louder in this enclosed space as the creatures just outside that range of light are shut away behind a wall of stone, and you hear nothing except for the breathing of your companions and the occasional little bloop, 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 bloop.
All right. Now that that's taken care of,
Snape.
shall we just take a quick rest and regain our strength and just take a moment to see what the fuck were you doing standing there? As I look at Galil, just standing there, fireballs.
And maybe in that room with the stone fangs. I don't know the word for it here.
Or I can just do the dome. Wait, have y'all seen the dome?
What are we talking about?
I feel like you're saying something that I should be grasping as a concept, but
I can create a dome barrier that is impenetrable if we want to just take a quick moment to breathe and talk about what the fuck just happened.
I don't know
Yes,
if they
I
have.
remember now.
Fortress.
What?
I was
Is it
thinking.
Lehman's Tiny Hut?
Yeah.
In Silvery Moon,
Yeah.
we've used it.
Tiny hut.
Okay. I couldn't remember if I was like, I feel like it's been a long time since you guys have been like out in the wild kind of thing.
You
I thought
used
that's
it
what you
when
were
we
going to
were,
use.
opening that weird Aliquin's map thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Let's,
so then
Lord.
I'll go to like a still within the vicinity of all of us. Go to like the best defensive position to start ritual casting the dome. I just need 10 minutes. By then my concentration should be good.
Okay.
Is I'm just like flipping through my book, start muttering and just like pacing in an area.
I feel like I should tell him after the concentration. Huh, Renan?
Wise choice.
oh wow! I have a secret to tell you. I'll tell you in a minute, but don't think about what I just said about having a secret to tell you once you're done.
wow, I feel like
Um,
Kindred dividing by 0.
We're gonna say Iskra.
I think Soul.
Oh,
actually
so go
was
for it.
first.
Go for it, so.
I'm going to Spice Murmur Sonder specifically.
But don't look at me.
A
Concentrate on your C.
yeah. Look at your tea, Sonder. Sonder, could you do me a favor, please?
Yeah, anything.
Would you mind if you use water and can wash away this gross dirt on my feet? This soil does not feel good.
It's because it's not soil.
Ew.
Yeah. I'll go over there and can I pull from the water that was there before? Was that?
Yep, there's
earlier?
little pools of water here and there. I mean, you won't have to wander too far off from this massive amount of light that you guys are in right now, killing off all the underground bacteria.
Anyone want to wash their feet? Don't know exactly what we were stepping in. And I'll like create a whirlpool around the feet area. Little feet car wash.
Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Yeah.
Just step through and you'll be good.
Thank you, Sunda. I appreciate you.
I
appreciate you.
I will cast prestidigitation on Sonder. Just like keep doing it until I don't smell what's coming off of him at that moment.
Fair. Okay. Cool.
Yep.
What are the rest? So we'll say, Kindred, your.
Did Harriet not have something?
Oh yes, sorry. Go for it.
I mean, it was just for flavor.
Oh, go ahead.
So
I had that.
I'm gonna scoop up a little bit of the water from one of the pools, and as I do to create light, I'm gonna open up my canteen, put my hand above it, let the water run from this one down over the knuckles of the other one, and start to illuminate with bioluminescence into the canteen, and just have this glowing source of water bottled up, just in case.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Can I
Awesome.
check to see if we disturbed any endangered species by
We've traveled
there-
a whole
water.
biome.
There's whole biomes
any
now that were
oxalotls that
there were oxalotls that were about to go on vacation. They had been waiting and saving their pebbles for like months.
Aww,
And
with their little
Sealed
axolotl
off.
suitcases.
little axolotl suitcases.
Oh
and
no!
Now Jeffrey and Tommy are separated by 6 inches of stone, and that might as well be miles for them, never to be seen again. No,
I told you we should have slept in.
And their young children are still waiting.
Why are we so terrible? Oh, all right. Anyway, sorry.
Mommy and
This
Daddy
was-
axolotl went out for cigarettes and
write
everything.
that
came
children's
back.
novel.
That was the day they were supposed to go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
So they're sitting out front on their steps just waiting with their backpacks and stuff.
Yeah.
Years.
Oh my god. So horrible. All right. Anyway.
That art.
Dreamy, be right back. Gonna write that children's novel.
Wait, not after you do the hooked on necrophonics first.
Yeah, I know. We have a whole. There's gonna be a whole bunch of books coming out.
I still want that shirt.
Oh no!
Okay, so your spell takes. The stone is permanent.
It is done.
What did you want to do now?
So as the dome completes, it's going to be pitch black, opaque, and after it's like vroom, completes, I'm just in it, and I just sit down and just like, oh, are y'all coming?
Kind of personal, but
Are we
Give me, like-
inside? Did
So,
you cast it just
is-
over yourself, or does it?
it
include
is-
us?
It's a 10-foot diameter dome that 9 creatures can, medium or smaller size, can fit in. So I just went off to like a little area that's like defensive, and started ritual casting. So if you're there when it finishes, you're in it. If not, you got to walk in it.
Yeah.
You have to
Okay.
stay in it no matter what. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I leave, it disappears.
Ooh, okay.
when Soul's feet are nice and clean, he will go join in the dome.
Thank you.
After I clean
will
everyone.
go ahead and walk in there, and then I will walk to plug in my laptop because that's something else.
No, don't die.
No. all right.
You know what that reminded me of is Digimon. I think it's Izzy that has the laptop everywhere. But just imagine
Yes.
Iskra there with a laptop, like getting out of
According
Just
to my
sort of
calculations. No. So then, as everyone's in,
Prodigious.
Oh God. Once everyone's in, I'm like, okay, if the wall's permanent, we can breathe. Oh,
The air
Smell
does
better
smell
in here.
better over here. Yeah.
I will pull out the skull that I originally got, and I'll look at the one Sonder has. I'm like, which one's fresher?
Oh no, do I have to be here for this?
No, but you can just turn away and look that way.
Oh, there's a higher chance that the one I have is Nuzuk.
Because the skull that you got was just a regular skull, right, Kindred? It didn't. It wasn't.
Yeah,
like
I just
half-
the freshest one that we saw before we saw the lair.
Then yeah. That would probably be yours. The one that Sonder got, less fresh, but definitely half orc.
Well, you went down and you went in the muck, so I'll do yours. You've earned it. And
You need me to.
I'll just
I
put
can
my
get
skull
it
back in
yet.
my bag for now, and I'll take it and set it on the ground. Actually, I'll turn my back to Soul, and put it on
Soul's
the ground.
going as far as he can in this dome and facing outward as well.
Oh, we're cramped.
Kinda-
It's only 10 feet.
Yeah,
I know,
we're
I know. So he's gonna do like earmuffs. He's gonna put on those mushroom things again.
Hey, wait a minute. No. So then put my back to Soul and I put it on the ground in front of me, and I pull it to my bag. I pull out the
I'm
quill.
gonna
and I-
start casting real quick. Prestidigitation around Soul to try to do like it says. One of the ones I can do is faint musical notes, like as close to his head as I can, just so he's hearing music.
Are you
Cool.
gonna tell him that you're doing that?
No, but if he turns to look at me, I'm doing this.
Okay, so he's gonna freak out for a little bit until he looks around and sees you doing something.
So
He's
we're
like,
locked
okay.
into this hamster ball with a rampaging, freaking out furball.
Well, no, you can leave it, and you can come and go at will. The
we can
only
leave it.
one that can't leave is Kindred,
Mwah.
and the only ones who can't get in is anybody but you guys. So you have free range of. It's the same as I think Caleb had the same little hut thing.
Yeah.
Basic premise. Okay. Everybody is kind of moving inside, correct? Or has moved inside?
yes.
Gilliel. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
As-
yeah, I set the skull down, and it's a half orc, and I pull out my quill of necromancy and place it on top of the skull, and I just start waving a few more signs, and I repeat the code word Ade Due Dambella.
Okay.
Would that be terrible?
Are you talking about the Necromonicon?
Hope he's
Who's
doing
Bella
okay.
and why is she dumb?
Okay, so
Kill all of y'all.
Kindred, you're casting Speak with Dead, correct? On the skull?
It it doesn't say it's a spell. It just says it lets me ask the dead creature up to 3 questions, which the quill writes on
you're
parchment
using
for
the
me.
quill. Okay, I missed that
Yes.
part. I was hearing you do the spell. Okay,
Yes.
you set the paper on the skull?
Or I set the paper like right next to it, and then I just
put
place the quill on the skull.
On the skull.
And then after I recite the code word, it like pops up and goes to the paper.
Correct.
Dang.
You see it lift into the air. Slowly starts spinning around as it kind of like moves over, kind of helicopters over the paper before righting itself and very gently like touching to the ground. Standing straight.
I'm writing the questions down real quick. So the first one I ask is, what was your name during life?
Okay. The pen shifts and shakes and then starts in cursive writing. Merwin.
Could still get some interesting information about him.
Let me concentrate. How did you get? What brought you down here?
The pin lifts follows the next line.
I look at Sonder and remark, I wonder if it has the same handwriting as the person did when they were alive. It's kind of pretty.
Yeah, I want to like look at the handwriting actually now.
Now you're like, ooh. It's
No.
like written in like 5-year-old like chicken scratch, like crayon lines.
Never win.
Was pushed down a well.
Ooh.
Myra?
So then the last question I'll ask. Were there others alive with you? Pumpkin was only what anyone life you can use action. So yeah, it'll let me combine it. So were others alive with you, or were you alone when you died?
Oh, okay.
Sad.
The pen moves. Wasn't alone on the surface, but fell alone.
Oh.
Pushed. The last word. ...
You must
That'd
have
be
died
cool.
upon impact.
That'd be cool if the word pushed was like all like jagged and yeah.
And that'd be a mercy if they did.
There's a well somewhere here then.
Okay. So then after the ... the pen just falls like normal. Any magic around the skull fades, and I just pick up the parchment and look at it. Well, I would say he has some enemies, but this was Morrowind. He was pushed down a well. I mean, obviously y'all can read it. Y'all are smart. And
Wonder if he had the dog. Must
Sonder, did you want this back?
The head? No.
Renan,
No,
do
we
you want to
can-
do like your blessing cleric stuff? Give him last rites? I don't know what y'all do.
I know you like to collect heads, but I'm good.
Well, the last rites that I would be able to give him wouldn't do
Sounds
him
good enough
any
to me.
good
Toss it
under-
to him.
Can I make a dex check to jump out of the way?
I mean, you
It's
can just
sold.
dodge it.
No.
I mean, we're pretty
Uh,
close. I just lob it right in your lap.
If Renan's gonna like shrink from it, I'll grab it.
Okay. She catches it in mid-flight.
No, not in my house.
And it
They just
pops in
answered
the
our
dust.
questions. The least we could do is not let it just fall again.
I really thought you would at least catch it. Jeez.
I set it down gently.
Makes me
As-
second guess this Garcinos. Like, damn.
As this exchange is going, Galil, your mind keeps flashing back to those previous images. And the presence fills the back of your mind once again.
Those passages that you caught a glimpse of that I'm starting to see, did they remind you of home? I think you may be muted, Moonblood.
I love you.
Love it.
My bad.
I'll break the fourth wall to let you know.
Not my wall. No.
Nigga Iskra can break the fourth wall.
Yep, confirmed.
Wow, she's
Canon.
Deadpool.
This is
Deadpool
my
confirmed.
favorite Iskra on the Citadel.
What do you mean by home?
You know, the place you spent so much time. I was born of it, but you were there longer than I was, maybe. It has a beauty to it down there that this place lacks, but there's a similar darkness, a similar uncertainty. You remember those winding passageways of the sunken temple? That hunger that flowed through you down there? The way time sort of had no meaning.
Your skin grows cold. That feeling in the pit of your stomach, like nervousness, anxiety, goosebumps go across your shoulders.
So you did come from the abyss.
In a manner of speaking.
It does remind me of that place.
Me too. I think that's it. Just enough of a connection. I think I can help a little now.
What do you mean? What are you gonna do?
If you need me later on, the pictures are clearer. Call on me.
Okay.
Your mind flashes to the various creatures that you saw. You get one reroll in relation to one of the creatures during if you encounter it.
Cool.
Okay. Ah, man, that means something bad's gonna happen.
Not necessarily. It could be for a lot of
is
things.
Is this your first time playing D&D?
I guess there are perks for selling your soul.
Well, I didn't sell my soul.
Yet.
It was
My
third
soul
hand
was
anyways.
just my soul was just tainted.
Potato.
Here's a quick question. Can he use that to make one of the creatures reroll?
Possibly. Depends on the situation.
If we are creatures in the cave, can he also use it against us?
We don't know this.
We are encountered.
Only Iskra, Nega Iskra can break the fourth wall.
So as those flashes kind of remind you of the things that you have seen, there is a smugness. There's a last feeling that you sense as that presence disappears. Maybe smugness is not even the right word. It's just pleased.
Right.
And then that contact is gone. And Iskra has just finished catching his skull and reprimanding them all with her wagging finger before setting the skull down. Renan, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Walking up to Iskra, I will use trips to wave my hand over it, and it cleans an object that is smaller than a cubic foot.
Okay. Go ahead, Sonder.
We should probably keep that piece of paper in case there's anyone on the surface that knows this.
Already
But
put
alright.
up in my journal.
Good.
Okay. So then we'll spend the hour short resting, and Galil, you catch us up on all the things that I'm going to ask you and be like, what the fuck was up with that?
I finally listened to that voice and forced a vision.
Carp or strawberry?
Strawberry?
I call it strawberry. You know this. You know this.
Strawberry.
Yes.
Yes.
And
I saw what lies deeper within.
oh god, what'd you see?
Hundreds of those gas, right?
Yeah,
That's what they're called.
the things that you had been.
I know
had
that.
Been,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
fought them before. Just
yeah.
And that's
Okay,
it.
so
But
hundreds.
just hundreds. Fuck. I'm gonna need more
And-
walls.
I saw one of them with a tongue that with no eyes.
Can you show me?
Can I use it? Wait, hold on.
I thought you had minor
Image.
illusion.
No, I have alter self. Oh wait, I do have minor illusion. Duh.
Yeah.
It looks like this.
Hey, look what I can do.
So look away, look away.
Yeah.
You okay,
Soul
Nightmares?
thinks
You
that
might-
y'all are doing messing with the undead.
I'm just gonna go with the head. That's it.
Okay.
We
Minor
rolled the
illusion
head out
that-
of the tent hut.
What is? Yeah. Oh, Galil, what does your magic look like?
For me,
Yeah. Like everyone's magic kind of has like a little bit of a personal touch, right? So it's like I was just curious. I've
Yeah.
never really asked you, what does your magic look like?
like moonlight.
Okay.
Cool.
Very
Okay.
much like watching those like god
I mean, it's
rays.
coming from my
yeah.
nats. Yeah.
Right. So watching like the god rays of the sunlight breaking through clouds or through through the trees. This is like reverse. This like shimmering curtains of moonlight blossom from his hand and kind of create this haunting image of, I want to say the word is desiccated whenever something is like dried out, right? Is that the proper term for it? I believe desiccated.
Dehydrated?
Yeah, well, dehydrated is one, but I think desiccated like means like it's just sapped
Like a
of
mummy is
kind-
desiccated.
Yes. So it
a
almost
bug.
looks like a desiccated skull of a hobgoblin, a head of a hobgoblin. There is no hair, but the features are there. And as it moves its head, it lacks eyes. There are just two hollow black holes where its eyes are.
I recoil a little.
It's pretty intense.
And you can
To have
see
in your
it
mind all
is
the time.
this mouth that like hangs open, a tongue that is not almost of its own, just kind of seems to slide out and then suck back in.
I guess better to see this now than be surprised by it later.
What did the area around this image look like?
I drop it because I don't want to like freak everyone out anymore.
Yeah.
Describing full, but it's
Yeah, I didn't see much of the environment. It just looked like what we saw.
rocks.
But I do remember a stone iron door, right?
Mm-hmm. Because your thing
What
had
it
been
looked like in
specific,
case-
specific to what dangers lurk in these caves, right? So you saw
Yeah.
flashes of environment, but where these dangers are located in that specific environment.
So then what did this door look like in case any of us run into it?
minor illusion what I can of it.
Yeah. A solid rock
I know
wall.
I can't do it that big.
Yeah. A small solid rock wall appears very similar almost to the smoothness of the magic of the wall that you have created. And in its center, a large, heavy looking cast iron door. I will say, Adam, that the image of that first creature you were describing wasn't associated with the wall itself. These are two different things. Arjun, what were you going to say?
Did the creature look like something he would have seen in the Underdark, or
Make a history check for me. Actually, make a history check for me, Arjun, but also Khalil and I want to say Kindred.
Then you shall say Kindred.
Yeah, I was trying to remember the situation, but
30-20?
okay.
You want to say
What's history? Oh, there it is. 17.
I like your powers of
Nat 20
suggestion, Sander.
for a total of 29.
Jesus.
Fuck yeah.
Arjun, this doesn't look like it didn't look like any creature you are familiar with as far as the Underdark goes, aside from it being this like horrified mummied version of a hobgoblin, lacking any eyes. Kindred.
The effect. seem
Oh, the
familiar with
effect.
something.
It's kind of hard to say. It could be any number of spells that bring back the dead. This could be just an undead creature of some form. Kindred, there is a moment where this brings back a bit of a memory.
Oh, fuck.
Walking beneath Silvery Moon's school, going to Amaranth's room, a creature in one of the cages that had been there wrapping in its hands on bars and staring at you through the darkness. A cage that you recall later on had been opened and was empty when you guys had gone down there again. And Galil, you rolled pretty close to having, you've seen something like this before, but maybe not where exactly, but you have seen some. The thoughts and words of that voice of Strawberry are kind of still rolling through your head, so it's distracting you enough to where you can't place the image because your mind keeps going back to the abyss. But you know that you have seen something like this before.
Sorry, I'm just finishing up.
No, you're good. You're good. It's where you can see and Renan, Vigor Soul, you kind of like peek around at this point and notice that they are not doing what you thought they were doing anymore. Just to kind of double check.
He kind of just like scoots around on his butt.
We also would find that the skull was cleaned completely.
Wait, it's still out in the open?
It's just the skull now.
But I thought it had like chunks and stuff. Like it's
No.
He like prestidigitation
Oh.
and cleaned it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it
Made
was,
it all nice and purty.
and it was a skull that was already pretty cleaned.
Gotcha. I thought one of
Maybe I
them was like all gooey and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then I remember that and I'm just like, oh shit, we saw that. Remember Amaranth in the beneath. I tell everybody and get them all up to speed on it.
You're muted.
Oh no. It's spreading! It's spreading! Welcome. You are now officially a member of Knights of Silver Moon. Congratulations.
1 out of 500 is not a bad track record.
No, not at all.
Add 5 seconds to his splash at the intro.
Oh dear.
Ooh, want
lost
to
my train
become
of thought now.
famous by followers, primes, and
Don't
viewers.
acknowledge them. That's
on
how they
your
spread.
follows, Doc. Yeah.
Wow, there's two of them, Stonky
Right, yeah.
too.
See what
Wanna
I told
become
you. What
famous
did I
again?
tell you?
Double famous.
That's hilarious.
Double deleted.
You may want to bring this player up to speed on that because I'm a little hazy on it.
Oh, like for real or
Yes.
Yeah.
okay. So, whenever I was going to get surgery with Amaranth to get what she thought was my soul for my dad taken out, we were like underneath Catacombs Silvery Moon, and we passed by like cages of. She told us don't acknowledge or do anything, just keep looking, going straight forward, and we just happened to see something, and I guess this something in one of those cages
Or
as we walked
something
by
like
it.
this something.
Yes. So it was just in passing that we saw it. We didn't interact or anything.
See,
And
y'all
then
can't
after-
just follow the rules, do what you're told.
We did. So
When-
then after the rebellion,
Well, actually, we
the
did.
cages were all open and nothing was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When me and Iskra and the other and the lady
And
we
you
turned
were
to
a
ashes
kitty
were-
soul at the time.
The connection to the fans isn't lost on me.
Mm-hmm.
I say in character.
So,
And that's not even the worst thing here.
oh god, there's more.
Wait, what are we talking about now?
This one had a vision.
Like a vision of the future?
The worst thing I saw was giant pincers picking up a full-size body. Like nothing.
Was
What
it
does
any
the
of
body
us?
like?
I think it was just a rotted body.
You get a sense of scale or
Size. Yeah.
Humongous.
Like gargantuan or like large, colossal.
like
the
subterranean
standard size
Tarrasque
category.
If here's the Tarrasque, no.
Instantly produces little miniatures. Poop, poop, poop.
Picture a pincers, but picking up soul like nothing.
Ooh.
What?
What?
reaction.
Oh, wait, why are we doing this?
Oh,
I
sure,
don't
now we
like
pay
that.
attention.
Let that happen to you.
For reference, Galil, it would probably, you would have guessed, stood 13 to 14 feet tall. This creature. Possibly bigger. The thing was that you only saw it as it was kind of hunched over and picking up this body. The body itself wasn't like soul size. It was like average human size.
I know,
So-
I'm just trying to have flavor to them.
Yeah. Okay.
Double scared.
Well, after seeing that, I'm just gonna watch and make sure that doesn't creep up on us, and I'll just. So from the outside of the dome is black and opaque, it can't be seen in, but from the inside it's just like clear. So then I'll just start looking and just finish up this short rest and making sure nothing approaches.
Okay. What about the rest of you guys? What are you doing?
Sorry, did Galil do another little hologram of the pincers?
I don't think I can do that big, but
Well, can you just
The scale.
can you scale down a hologram?
5 feet of it? Yeah, why not?
He creates this image, and once again, that dancing moonlight beams kind of shine across, creating a panorama sort of like thing of a large skeletal creature that looks like its lower half of its body is covered in wrapped in robes or clothing of some sort, and the arms that are tucked close to its body, that one of them extends impossibly long to pick up this body that is on the ground as it brings it closer to its face before just kind of discarding it to the side, and then the image dissipates as
Wait,
it is
I'm
just
sorry,
the extent.
Are we playing Dark Souls?
as it
This is Dark Souls right now.
as it just dissipates and like dissolves in the
We're
moonlight, and
playing
it's
Aaron Ring.
It's wearing clothes like robes.
just the lower half.
Oh,
So you're saying that thing is here?
Yeah.
No wonder the thieves haven't been able to find their people.
Can I do a history check to see if I've seen anything similar to it in my travels?
Sure.
Probably not. There's a good chance that I have. I mean, it's a 17. I didn't realize I got a +7 to history. I forgot. Oops.
Nice. There are aspects of it that strike you as things relating to undeath. Certain rituals that go awry have a tendency to warp spellcasters who attempt such things. Some things work for their benefit, and some things leave them twisted and beyond recovery from whatever experiments and attempts they have made. There are some things that might because of how you feel about undead things, I would say that there's like one of those like 50-50. There are some things that you know about it because you hate it so much, but there are some things that you prefer not to know. So details probably elude you, but you know that something is not uncommon whenever you are dealing with arcane and necrotic energy and magic.
Even more so than the majority of necromancy, this is beyond an unnatural creature. This is an abomination.
Well, let's rest up and go kill it.
I'm with you.
Too often do I agree with you, Kindred, but this would be one of those moments.
Wait, we have to fight that thing? That big thing?
To purge this unnatural creation from the world? Would you not agree that that is worth it?
Well, I mean, it is worth it, but it's just us for that big thing?
We fought bigger.
Yeah.
Did we?
We
Yes.
fought a dragon.
We fought a dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll calm our nerves a bit. We'll need them. I take my pack off of my back with my. I lost my words.
Dulcimer?
I can't think of the word in common for it. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
My Santor, my
Yeah, yeah.
trapezoidal stringed instrument,
Yeah.
strapped to the top
Santor.
of the pack, since I have to carry everything I own right now,
Yeah.
and shift it in front of me, pull out the little hammers, and start to play softly, since we're in a pretty close space.
Chibi campfire.
I will quietly sing in Ruvian Common along with her.
Nice.
I'm gonna get next to Kindred and whisper. Can you message?
If these people would be quiet and let me concentrate on resting.
Thunder begins to play his lute.
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
Begin
Well-
jamboree.
Rest just fine.
The extrovert short rest
Oh.
versus the introvert short rest.
This needs more cowbell.
Ding, 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 ding.
Summon a goat with a bell
Yeah.
hanging off
Oh
of it,
my
so-
god. I
Oh,
just do
no.
like a whistle and plume goes from Saunders. Or
Now
not
we're
Saunders.
lying on the cold, hard ground.
Soul Shaker reflects to mine.
Trouble, trouble.
It's a baby goat that's like jumping around and jumping off of Kindred and
We are lying on the cold hard ground, actually.
Yep, that's why it
I'm
was
sitting
great.
crisscross applesauce.
Thank you for the /me information.
Right? I know. We're going to be using it a lot, I feel like. Okay,
Everybody knew that. I don't know why.
I don't. So you finish your short rest.
Oh, thank God.
Even in that moment of like kind of still listening out to the sounds outside of this bubble, you haven't heard anything from the wall. Nothing seems to be scratching or trying to break through. Is it because the wall is thick enough to dissuade them? Or unsure. But the hour passes, and you feel somewhat rested enough. Your nerves calmed with the somewhat lighthearted music that is played. You're ready to face whatever comes ahead. Galil, what you were talking to Kindred about something about sending a message.
I was asking him if he can use message.
After I like calm and sometimes pass, and we've got the short rest done, I'm like, okay, now ask me again. Who did you want to send a message to?
No, can you cast a message? I just point.
Yeah. What do you want?
You can reply to this message.
It's mentally, right?
Yes.
It's a whisper.
You whisper it, but only us two can hear it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but it is a whisper.
I have information about Strawberry.
Messaging back.
So we have this for spies, remember. We have this for message.
Well, yeah.
And
He's made
remember,
this.
Oh, because that's actually part of the
telekinetic
components for it is that
link.
point to whoever.
Yeah, so this is this is telepathic bond. This is one, and this is the other. I love it.
I point back. Just
just
let's
point
get
point
through
up,
this
Kindred.
alive.
Because
I
Galil's
see.
above you, and so Galil, you point down. There you go.
Let's just get through this dungeon alive, unless it's something you feel you absolutely have to tell me. And let's take out the pincer thing.
Fine.
I love you guys.
I hate you so much.
So
Who,
good.
me?
No, he's
No,
talking to
him.
God.
Oh. Tell him Margaret says hi.
All right.
Okay, so then after that, I'm just like, and then out of nowhere, the bubble just, or the dome just disappears as I stand up. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Back on my back.
No. The giant worm that burrows in, swallows Soul, and drags him away.
The giant Alaskan bullworm.
The one
like
other
this.
thing that I wanted to do is using the flower ink that I got from Dudros. I pull out a golden feather from my bag, and I use it to write on the skull a prayer for the wind to take the soul where it needs to go. But personally, I understand the redundance of writing that on a skull that's in a cave, but that's right.
That's fine. Fair enough.
Just blow on
Shoot
it
it.
a little bit. Make the wind.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll put a shoulder on
Feather
Renan's.
back.
I mean, I'll put a hand on Renan's shoulder.
Put a shoulder on his head.
You pile drive Renan into the ground.
Oh no! Wait, yeah, I'll put a hand on Renan's shoulder. I think it's appreciated.
Okay.
I will leave the skull a spot that is between a stalagmite on top of a stalagmite.
Alrighty. All right, so heading out again.
Speaking of
On
skulls,
the road again.
No pun intended.
yeah.
Before we leave, on the walls of the cave that we were in, can I write in Draconic, let light shed?
Okay.
Like big, like...
Alrighty.
Okay, so then we're going back the direction where we found the initial scuffle.
Which is going
So
in
we'll
back, heading north along what is the only path available to you at the moment. You pass the initial spot and continue forward. You continue on past this scuffling, ever vigilant. Once the light that is on the dagger has already faded, do you recast it again, or do you use like the torches and the lot dimmer light now that you are in this other space?
I would have
I'd be
used.
My bad.
Go ahead.
I would be using just our vision with the torches right now. I would be saving that for during a time when we're in a far more open area or where we have multiple enemies to
It's,
Okay.
I'll light light another torch and give another one to Soul. Because those only last an hour as well.
Okay. But at least now you don't have this like bright ass beacon that goes ahead of you for quite some time and far enough behind you. Who is leading the charge here?
I think
Kind of will
Arjun-
as I just kind of start walking that way after.
I'll be behind you then.
I just
Arjun?
would have had Arjun close to the front just because he can see in the dark. So
Correct.
would have been a little bit more of an early detection system.
I was
Arjun.
gonna try to be in the middle with the light.
I'll
Okay.
hang back with Renan like we were when we were walking this way before.
Okay. Galil?
I'm in front of Iskra and Renan with Oreo.
Oreo. Okay.
And every, I don't know, 20 some odd steps, I'll turn back and look over my shoulder to make sure there's
Everyone
nothing
else
that
is
I
in.
can see.
Arjun,
No, I'm
then?
in the back.
Yeah. Arjun,
Back.
go ahead and make perception checks for me as you navigate the space.
I give
Remain
Oreo a
alert.
quick scratch as we're getting into position.
Ooh, 23.
I went ahead and did one, and I got a natural 20.
Cool.
Nice.
23 and a 20. Natural 20 plus what? Because natural 20s only work critically whenever you're in combat.
Plus 8.
Okay, cool. Just wanted the last little number. Thank you.
Ain't nobody sneaking up on me.
You just feel this tap on your wing.
Actually, that doesn't work. That doesn't work for Renan, though.
Do we
But imagine if it
continue
did.
normally or stealthily?
That would be much worse.
Question.
Yeah. Are you guys trying to be quiet through as your passage, or just kind of walking cautiously?
What's
Oh, I
that?
don't
or
have
stealth?
to try to be quiet.
It's true.
Yeah.
Cautiously till we get back to that room, and then I'll
Way
go
to
back
flex.
to stealth.
Well,
The
I mean, you
creatures,
are
like, attack
there is.
everyone except
Oh,
for
we're already
Iskra.
there.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
you are you're in a cave. There is no other room for you to get to. This is just proceeding along this path until finally you reach a dividing space. And Arjun, you see this before any of the others. A fork in the road, left and right.
Little fork in the road. Do we remember where we're supposed to be going?
You go north
left.
until all that's left.
Take all that is left.
That.
Guess we are going left.
Iskra, what were you gonna say?
Earlier this direction,
Mm.
you said that we smelled like sulfur and alchemical components.
Yes.
Do we still get that scent up here?
You didn't at first back where you were at or along this way, but now that you are here at this crossroads, you do get the sense of there is a scent, a strange one coming from the right. It does have almost something tangy and alchemical to it. The path to the left
Stuffers.
doesn't smell, doesn't have anything different than the cave air you've been smelling already. There's a little bit of that damp earth to it in that direction.
Is the path to the right, is that scent to me? Does it feel manufactured?
Not natural kind of thing.
Yeah.
Berries.
You know, like, would it
Yeah.
remind me of the foundries back home, or?
A little bit. There's something that is not a naturally occurring scent coming from that direction, so it feels more at home, I guess, almost for you, than the pure earthy, like the smell of like mud and dirt that you are familiar with now, but maybe not as much as this other scent. This smells almost like smoke a little bit, like processed something.
I remember Saunders' riddle, but something smells different about the passage to the right, like something man-made. Do you think maybe someone got into a fight down that way, or threw a flash bomb or something?
I think it'd be worth checking out.
Well, there's logic in going towards the places that we're told not to go, because that's where the trouble would be.
True. We can always track back to here.
But if we're on the time crunch, let's just do what he suggested, find the people, and then we can come back and clear out as much as we want.
Kindred, what about your snake?
Pops his head up from his collar.
Could you not send him down the right and see if he finds anything? While we go left, as we were told.
No, because I can't leave him without.
Okay, are you?
Nope, I can't do it. There's something blocking me. Yeah. Can't.
Oh, okay. Got it. Well, if this scent that you speak of does not seem natural, then that brings us closer to people, it seems, right? I say we follow the right. We can always track back to the left.
If it takes too long and it seems like we're getting nowhere, then we'll head back.
Okay.
I just don't want to
So-
miss any of these people.
Splash a bit of that water that you had over here, just so we can know that this is the spot.
I unscrew the cap of my canteen and take some under my fingers and flick it onto the wall.
But this doesn't last for a long, right?
It won't last an extremely long time, but
There's still dirt around us, right?
Yeah.
I'll just in dirt. Just smear it on where she splashed water because it's wet, and then in the mud, just a very rudimentary arrow pointing the way that we came from.
Okay.
You guys trek to the right, continuing along this smaller tunnel. This one is devoid as you progress of natural rock formations, though the cave appears to be natural in occurrence. There's no protrusions. It's strangely hollowed. The ground curves slightly up further to the right before curving again to the left. And as it curves more to the left, it starts to have an incline to it. We're going uphill. You can feel the burning on your legs. Granted, in this universe, you walk the fuck everywhere, so maybe not as fast, but you definitely you get that sense of whenever you're walking uphill, you kind of feel it on the
Y'all
fronts
have
of your
really
legs.
awesome thighs.
Everyone's got amazing calves. It's just a thing. And you walk for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 25. And the cave
What's
starts
the
Getting
direction?
nowhere.
the
The
smell
direction that we're heading now.
like
On compass.
compass wise. Taking a look at the compass, you are heading
Northeast.
east by northeast.
Okay.
And eventually, about almost 25 minutes into the walk, the smell's getting somewhat stronger, and you can definitely smell the scent of smoke. Like, not like something, well, I mean, obviously, it's like something's burning, but not like a big campfire or anything, but it smells just like torchlight. And you can see now ahead of you, probably about 30 or 40 feet as it kind of curves around, there is this dim glow coming from up ahead. And your glow from the torches has not met it yet. But you're getting close.
I stop everyone, and I'm like, "Wait, put your torches down. There's light up ahead."
I'll cast Druidcraft because it's a cantrip. I can snuff out torches.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
And then Arjun, so you see what
Keep a lookout.
is up there.
Can I?
Yeah. I mean, you sneak up around to the corner as far as you can. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
We could.
Perception check for
Like
around us.
everybody?
Whoever is sneaking forward to try and peek around into wherever the source of the light is.
Why
You don't
not?
kn- Not everybody has to go, but whoever's moving forward, then go ahead and make a stealth roll for me.
Oreo
You-
State.
Oh, wrong
13.
one, wrong one.
I'll stay back here, but flip the goggles of night on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Three
same.
little lights.
I'll
Eric,
just
That
catch
was
your.
really funny when you did that. Your screen like looked a little bit green. I don't know
amazing.
what you did, but you moved and it like shifted to a shade of green. I was like, "The hell was that?"
What did you say?
All right, so Arjun, Galil, who else is moving forward? Or just you two? Was it just
I
you
need
two?
a calculator.
Okay.
Just y'all.
Okay.
And Arjun,
me
you
and
would
Iskra,
Oh, I got a 13. Not
13. Okay.
34.
I'm gonna freeze
What?
and I'm gonna look in the
Yeah.
other direction, just so that we're covered on both ends, just in case.
Perfect.
What is your plus on stealth?
Plus 13, but in darkness, it's plus 15.
He has armor that grants him dark stuff.
Armor that does dark stuff.
And that's without pass
Open
without
it
a
over.
trace. Think about that.
Yep.
But can you seal off a tunnel?
You
Yeah.
you move up to the edges of this entrance, and you can see that the tunnel kind of continues forward a little bit before it curves around, making for a wider entrance. There is a space here that is lit by several large standing torches. There's 4 that you can see immediately as you kind of peek around the corner, staying low as possible to avoid creating too much of a silhouette against the lining of this wall. 2 on either side of the walls, and 2 standing in front of a large iron doorway that leads into a solid rock wall that covers top to bottom the far side of this room. In about 5 feet in front of each side of the wall on either side of this door is a rocky outcropping that looks oddly artificial in nature. It's jutting out from the ground as if it had been lifted. And now with the recent experience of Kindred's movement of walls, you get that this might be some sort of like half wall that is placed there. Make perception checks for me, both of you, if you will.
Net 20 for a total of 25.
19.
Lovely. You catch movement from the left and the right wall, and you realize that you are looking, that there is a gap of about a foot on each side of the wall that has a lit space beyond it, and the figures move on each side as if patrolling a small arrow slit that runs about 3 feet across the length of each wall.
Sorry, and this is how far away?
From where you are standing, this is probably about 40 feet. It's not super deep, but it's deep enough to where they can see whoever these people are, anybody upcoming to this wall. And that smell is stronger now. You can see whatever is burning in these things. You can see the smoke kind of rising up to this top of this cave and just kind of floating lazily back past you.
I go to reach for Galil's shoulder, but realize that he's left the campaign entirely.
I'm right here. Oh.
Because of that high stealth roll, you're like, Galil, I don't even know he exists anymore.
Why was I here?
Who are you people?
So it just touches his shoulder and kind of just tries to direct his attention to where he saw the movement to see if he also saw it.
Yeah. And you can see there is what appears to be some sort of guard on the other side of this narrow band, and they just kind of seem to be patrolling. You see one of them kind of stop and look out, and then kind of look back and to whatever's on the inside. And just kind of like slowly walk back and forth.
If I see them stop, I point to whoever's in the back. What did y'all stop? Why did y'all see?
In the back?
Well,
Like, because if they went up ahead, I'm looking at their behind, so I'm figured it's like one and then the other. So
Yeah.
whoever I see, yeah.
yeah,
I think Arjun would have gone up first, so
yeah. You
So Galil.
so Galil, you probably hear Kindred's message in your whisper in your ear as if he is right over your shoulder.
We see guards.
How many?
Looks like 2.
Yeah. Just 2? From what I can tell.
Your mind flashes back to what you had seen earlier. The flashes of armor, weapons. You knew that this was here. You remember the door that you had seen. It's familiar to you now. And you remember that sense of there is danger behind that wall, behind that door.
So is this something we should ambush and take them out?
What I saw is behind that door.
You saw things behind that door. What it was behind that door, you're not sure, but directly related to that doorway, you just saw the flashes of armor and weapon. You knew that there was like some sort of soldiers or something that was stationed there.
just a quick question for the DM.
Mhm.
Do we have a sense that this is basically right up against where the fortress is, or we're just not that far north yet?
Make a survival check for me.
Yeah, I
That's
think
true.
if anyone could figure it out, hopefully it's Ardrin.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. It's more of a city drow. 11.
He doesn't count in Underdark feet. He counts in regular feet.
You would
We
know.
use fate.
So,
Wait,
Taco just redeemed inspiration for Ardrin.
For Ardrin.
Oh.
Oh, nice. Good job, Taco.
Well,
Good job.
Well, I guess I might as well use it and roll even
Hi,
lower.
Crimson. Thanks
Right.
for stopping by. Oh no, it was worse. Or was it the same number?
It was 4.
Sorry,
Okay,
Taco.
nice try
I'm
though.
fairly certain we went south, guys.
I quit. You know the distances approximately of where you had been. It's kind of hard to say with now having moved back and forth with any certainty, but you have gone far enough north that this could definitely be within the vicinity of, if not directly below, the fortress.
Ooh.
It wouldn't be hard to guesstimate that.
It's at least within the same zip code.
Yep.
Well, since he can't whisper magic to anybody, he keeps that tidbit to himself anyways.
You never answered. Are we going to ambush them or should we leave?
I'm putting Galil out to the various defenses, and just as a sort of non-verbal reminder of the fact that they are obviously prepared to deal with the creatures down here in a very long-term fashion.
Yeah. Kindred wants to know if we should ambush.
And how? How would we effectuate that?
That's what I'm trying to figure out too.
Remind me,
It's,
did we go in the direction they said not to go, or did we decide not to?
Yep. We did
Yes.
not listen to them.
So you'll lean back into Galil. Let's huddle up with the others.
Yeah. I'm gonna sneak back, but still keep an eye on them.
Okay. You do not seem to have been noticed as they rolled crap.
Good luck trying to find me.
Yeah.
Well, they're little like arrow slits, right? They've seen
It is
through.
like bunker style to where it's like this long ways this way. So it's
Okay.
like about
No.
3 foot
Kill
this way,
boxes.
but only
Just
about
like medieval.
a foot,
Okay.
but only about a foot tall. Yeah.
Also, Aaron, don't forget I have line sight.
Yes.
Yeah, let's charge him a fantasy machine gun nest. That'll go well.
I know, right?
Basically, yeah, something along those lines.
Well,
Um,
we can cut back. At least we know what's over here.
yeah. If we want to get back into the temple, right? The dome, whatever that place is called. I'm having a brain fart
Fortress.
right now.
The fortress.
There we go, fortress.
Yeah.
Fortresses of solitude.
Someone that has a slightly better sense of direction than I do. Does this seem like where the fortress is?
I look at Sonder.
Oh, I figured, but I didn't want to assume.
I guess
I assumed,
survival
but I did not
check.
want to assume. What
I
would
guess
that
that's
do
the yes.
for
Sonder
me?
cast shade.
There we go.
Yeah. It would seem like a probability. You know generally where you were in the city as in relation to the fortress to begin with, and kind of making an estimation of the amount of time you have traveled. It would put you somewhere, yeah, in that vicinity of the fortress, if not below it, maybe even a little past it, but definitely in its vicinity. Having been the fact that you have traveled enough in that eastern north direction, that it would have put you in that ballpark.
Could you describe to us what you saw in
Yeah.
detail?
Yeah, I would imagine.
So then the
Ready?
question is, if there's only two, do we kill one and then take the other as hostage and get answers?
Just because we saw two doesn't mean there are only two. That's a
That's-
big ass door.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is
Also-
that we can't be sure.
If they told us not to go to this direction, then maybe we would make enemies of them if we did not do what they said.
Well, if that is the fortress, I kind of get the impression this is part of the Thieves Guild's truce.
Right.
They stay away from there.
I think the biggest concern that I have is simply the fact that it appears that they are prepared to make a ranged attack on anything coming out of these caves.
No
So-
trace of the people that we're looking for that way, though, right? That you saw?
Mm-mm.
Had you seen any bodies on the grounds in front of this fortress?
Did we?
Also, no.
Let's
So then
presume.
shall we just put a pin in this and go the other way that we were supposed to go.
Well, at least we
I
know
agree
what's
with
here.
you, Kindred.
But at least I kind of get the impression that if these people were part of the Thieves Guild, they knew not to come here anyways.
All right, let's go here.
And important that we know about it now too.
But I did see that door in my vision
So there is something dangerous.
lying behind it.
So let's find the people first before we walk into something that we know is dangerous.
Okay.
Very true.
We'll have everyone
mention-
to find.
We could come back down here in any number of days in order to go and potentially use this as a way into the fortress.
Dangerous.
It may
but
be our
this-
opening
maybe
eventually.
worth it. Mhm.
Could get, in the event, myself and another one of us right through that pinhole.
Wasn't something said about the fortress being pulled down rather than up? The feeling that you got, Graham, Ardrin, of the entity, the sentience, was further down into the fortress. Right?
I actually don't remember this.
You had sensed that the whatever was the origin of that charm, that resonance, had come from the fortress itself. And yes, there was something that you would sense the true scale of it, and it did go down deeper into the plateau, but it wasn't really a sentience. It was just where the source of that spell was coming from. So you
More a
felt
source of
it.
power.
Yeah, you felt the entirety of the scope of this fortress and how it kind of like the way it juts out at an angle from the ground. You felt that how far down into the ground it actually goes, which now that Saunders pointing this out makes more sense because you have traveled quite a distance north. You would kind of imagine that this has pushed you past the entrance of the direct outside of the fortress. This must connect to whatever, however further down and at the angle that structure goes, this might actually meet it at that point.
Well, makes it easier to get to where we need to go.
We all start walking the other direction.
All right.
Quietly.
Quietly moving along, you get back to that fork and start moving up that passageway that would have been the left side. Here, you travel for another 20 minutes or so before you reach a section of the cave where it looks to curve inwards on the left-hand side of the wall, curves inwards and is blocked off by rubble. There had been a passageway here, but the massive stones have now sealed it off.
How big are they?
Probably about 20 feet across, each one with a bunch of bits and pieces. Like, you see massive boulders that had been like the walls or ceiling of this cave that have collapsed, and then a bunch of mixing matched pieces that are all around.
So this
No
place is
scraps
blocked
of
off.
cloth or anything mixed in with them.
Make an investigation check.
'Cause I can use mold earth. I can use it to cause the ground to become normal terrain if it's already difficult terrain and it lasts for an hour. So if there's like, I know the big boulders are probably still in place, but if there's like little bits and pieces that I can like over time cast over and over to excavate, even if it's just like a crawl space, could I do that?
It would take you some time, but you might be able to manage. It's not sure how far down you go.
I'll start
By
working
the
on
way,
Yeah,
I
I
relit
can-
the torches.
Natural Danik.
Nice.
So that's a 26.
That's awesome.
The path that is here is fainter than the one that you had seen further back. Less traveled, perhaps. The path that still is visible continues on deeper into this passageway. Then here, there are natural occurring formations. Not a lot like there had been back further. And you notice that this area of the cave seems drier. This space here where the rubble is, the ground is sandy almost. And part of whatever is filling in the gaps around these large boulders, aside from smaller rocks, does seem to be sand that is kind of pooled down, that has like probably like seeped out and then just blocked itself off naturally.
Okay, so no.
But no signs of like clothing or anybody.
Is this sand like it's obvious that this sand is not naturally here? Once I start molding earth and trying to like excavate it,
There are bits and pieces as you like shove the rocks aside. It is naturally here. It just
Yeah,
there's
like a
more of
cave-in
it.
sort of
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. Then as you clear some of the rock, you can see sand kind of like start to spill and pool outwards.
I relate the results of my investigation. It looks like this passage just wasn't sturdy enough and gave in on its own.
can I take the sand that's filling in a little bit and look at it? And is it like the sand that I noticed when I looked at where the house that was no longer was?
You know, this is sand that this is
It's
the I mean
normal.
even that sand looked normal. It wasn't like it was freshly disturbed or anything. This is sand that kind of reminds you of like the desert. It's mixed in with like the red sands that you have seen outside of like different areas, but it is, I guess, a little more red. And I would say even as you've gone down this left path, you have also felt the rise upwards, maybe a little stronger. And the rock around you, not that I don't think any of you are particularly geologists, but the rock even around you has changed to be still cave, but less like subterranean close to water cave. And this is like approaching more like rocky canyon kind of sandstony cave instead. You're probably, I would say it is a fair bet that you estimate you are close to that plateau wall where it shifts from that's kind of like at the very back north side of the city that the city is backed up into. It is that same kind of stone wall that is just, you've noticed the change there.
We're on night 3 of the fest. We saw people gathering.
Day 4.
We
Oh,
are
night
on you are on day 3, where it is the feast, right? The day 2 was that other race, and that one was in like what looked to be like a canyon carved out of the plateau, but it was further to the west of the city. Yes.
Well, let's keep going.
Oh, where? There's nowhere to go. It's
No, it keeps going. No, it keeps going.
Oh,
There's
it
an
does. I
area
thought it was
Yeah, this was just this was a section that was off on the left-hand side.
Oh.
It looked like there had been a path this direction, but it has been
Okay,
blocked off.
Gotcha.
The path that continues northward continues to go forward.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm satisfied that someone didn't die underneath it or close it on purpose. So,
Do we need more room?
What do you mean?
I think we can
I
light the
can-
torches too. Also,
Because I can reduce one of the bigger boulders down.
No, I mean, it looks like with the cave in, it sand's just gonna fill in and then fuck us up.
and
Yeah,
this
I wouldn't be
doesn't seem
messing with it.
fresh either.
You continue
It's an
northward.
interesting excavation tool, though.
Mm-hmm. Potentially, or very bad because it takes out the whole support of the rest of the structure and it continues to collapse. So yeah, use smartly, definitely. Okay, so you continue north. Where's my page here?
The more we
And
continue
reach-
north. The more we continue towards north. Technically. No.
You continue in that direction and the lift continues to climb. You can definitely feel this cave is drier. and it eventually starts to open up from the smaller tunnel into a strange mixture of cave and canyon. You can see that the caves go upwards, but instead of being more of a round shape, they are still kind of narrow, but go up in weird and like slightly off kiltered angles where it's like you're in an underground canyon that's been buried. So you can see with the light source that you have around you that it kind of goes up, and it's that smooth sandstone. It makes you feel like you are in a canyon, but it is still dark at the top. And you can see at some points where instead of going up to a flat surface, it like curves away out of sight. And you continue on forward, and it starts to
see the walls still.
You can see the
both
walls. Yeah, it's still at this point. It keeps fluctuating and narrowing and widening out, going from that 80-foot space to a smaller, like 50 or 40. And you follow along this path that kind of keeps curving and snaking left and right before it starts opening up into a larger chamber. And this, you can see massive stalagmites and stalactites hanging from the ceiling. Some of them already touching and creating these columns. There is what looks to be a bit of room, and for whatever reason in this space there is a little bit more of light. Almost like that underground lichen kind of glow to the space. And you can see that there... Oh, lichen. Yeah, thank you. Lichen, lichen, that word.
Lichen is bad magic.
Well, I was gonna say we are in. Hey, it could be lichen.
True. You have
necromoss.
You have basically another direction to choose, left or right at a certain point. To the right, you see that this cave opens up into a larger, rounder section that kind of goes on for a way into the darkness before curving off to the right. And to the left, it kind of continues on more of that like narrow, windy space amongst a few pits that kind of sink down into darkness.
Is there anything that would pull us in either direction, visually or from any of our other senses?
I would say just keep taking left. I mean, it said take all that is left.
You see that the path,
all the lefts.
You're good. You see that the path that kind of goes to the left, as much as it curves around some of these rock formations, it kind of rises up a little bit to like a little bit of a cliff that kind of comes and coasts along the side of one of the right side walls of this left direction. The space to the right looks more like a circle. It doesn't have the same features. This almost looks more like a pocket, but you can't see far enough down into it to really determine. Ardrin, I think, has the furthest vision in this, and it does seem, because I think you have 120 with your dark sight or devil sight, whatever.
Devil sight, yeah.
In that direction, it is more of a round space. You imagine almost another like, not so much a lair, but in that same like bubble cavern kind of space, versus the path to the left is more of a continuation of this canyon.
Relay that.
So to the left or to the right?
You heard my input. What do y'all think?
I will say to the left as well.
Okay.
So since it's drier, I'm assuming there's no like dirt and water handy.
No, you occasionally still hear those drips, but they don't sound as prevalent as they did in the spaces beneath the city. This seems drier, more sandstony in nature. There's still dirt and like, sand and kind of mixed in here and there, but it's not that same muddy ground or compacted earth that you had experienced to the south.
Galil, do you still have your crowbar?
Do I? I need to check. Hold on.
My 10 foot.
I honestly don't remember.
Oh my god. You should always know everything in your bag at all times.
Whoa, why
Dude,
is no one
we
ready?
haven't talked about the crowbar in forever.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all rusted.
I know, right?
We'll say for the time being, you're gonna go left, right?
I do
Correct.
have it. I do have it.
So can I borrow it real quick? And I just like, not really like hit it, but I just kind of use it to scrape and carve a little arrow the direction we came from into the side that we're going.
Okay.
Nice.
Continuing up along
Shit.
this little ledge here on the right side of this path, it basically creates a walkway around where you see a deep pit that falls down into nothingness.
Careful. All of you.
Is it pretty sheer?
The side, the pit itself,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like just straight down. It almost looks like a hole that just was there in the ground, and this like walkway goes like above it where the hole is, just kind of goes above and around it. So it basically, that hole blocked any further progress unless you use this side passage.
And how far is the side, like how big of
How big of a gap is it? About
yeah.
25 feet.
And any of you not fly out or quickly
Is
get
there-
yourself out if you
Would there be
fell.
enough room for Renan to like ferry us?
I mean, you can get it. You're walking past it. I'm just saying, it's there on to the side. It's not blocking your path. You're just walking around. You're walking basically above it, looking down. This is a feature that is here. It is just this hole.
Oh,
As you're coming around the corner, you can see it
No, wait, that doesn't look right.
kind of continues to open and curve around, and with the lighting that you have, Khalil, you get a flash of a memory again. That same space where you had like seen parts of the cave move and turn. Those creatures with no eyes.
Ooh.
They are close. And you know you must go through them. Your mind, as you're like focusing on that memory, suddenly has you have like this little bit of a twitch. And in the back of your mind, you hear someone scream. A man shouting at the top of his lungs. And you turn your attention to where this sound is coming from, and you look to that pit just in time to see someone fall into its depths. A ghostly like image that of a human man whose rope had snapped. And your attention focuses to a small stake in the ground at the edges of that pit with a shorn piece of rope that dangles freely over that pit. You don't know who that person was, but someone died there. And that's how we're going to end for tonight.
No. It's 10:30.
Yeah, let's keep going.
11.
We have 30 minutes. Come on. Keep going.
Oh, that was so good though.
Let the
Khalil's turning into
cliffhangers
the
because
lady
he'll fuck up
from,
everything else he tries to do.
Yeah, Khalil's turning into that lady from The Conjuring.
Yeah.
I've
How
never
does it
seen
feel?
Conjuring.
How's it
so-
feel to have visions?
How do you like it? How do you like it?
It's not much fun, is it?
Ooh.
Who's gonna
this
watch you
section
now,
of
man?
Taco.
No.
Taco's got mental picture. What do you want? What do you want to know about? Describe the
Picture.
man.
Ooh. Nice. That's cool.
Before
They
or
look like
after?
a person in pure
Yeah.
terror falling with their hair all over.
It's
the
gonna
end,
be
it
like
was
the main
basically
character in the
just
show.
It's just a smashed pile of red velvet cake.
Oh
random
no!
Oh my god.
No.
Yeah, I wonder
The-
if he had like adventurer clothes on or like just like rags or like you know. like-
Khalil, you focus in on that image, kind of replay it or rewind it in your head. There had been a pack close to, in that same ghostly translucentness, next to that stake, there had been an adventurer's pack filled with gear. The spike, the man that was like leaning over the side, looking down. A young man, probably in his mid to late 20s.
Oh.
Human.
Oh.
Hair shaved really close.
Oh.
Looks up at the edges of this lip of the hole. And you can see his mouth move as if speaking to someone. He starts to go further down, foot over hand, and he is like a few feet from the edges, and you can see that tear starting to form on the rope. A tear that wouldn't have been there had there not been a little bit of a nick cut into it already. And then the rope snaps, and you hear him fall, screaming as he falls into the depths of that black pit. And the pack is lifted and taken away.
Yo.
Oh, wow.
I'm just
Jesus.
picturing that goofy scream as he falls down the cliff.
Exactly what I just posted.
Oh no. You guys are the worst. Yeah.
browser history.
Dude got
Ah.
betrayed.
Long live the king. Taco, I hate you. I love you, but I hate
That's
you.
what he said. He's like, Ska,
Jesus.
brother.
Shouldn't have eaten all the trail mix.
We have 2 after credit scenes for you tonight.
Oh, can we pick the left one?
No, we need to choose the right one this time.
Oh my gosh, the guy's
Two?
like, go
Dreaming
left. And we're
two?
like, let's go right.
No, that was good. You guys did really great. To start with,
I see what you did.
let me see here. Let me get the
We have
right.
to explore the entire map so we can get the achievement.
Yeah.
Are we gonna platinum D&D?
I
Yeah,
just
we're
want to
platinum
point
DD.
out,
No stone left unturned.
D&D and
Um,
NFT.
I have a feeling that we are about to like gain a point of exhaustion because we're going into night. Well, maybe not the elves
Not
as
yet.
much,
Yeah.
but I
mean,
just want to.
we
I mean,
did.
that's a fair point.
We did take a
little
rest,
short
so that
rest.
should
Yeah,
help.
but we still need. Y'all still need to sleep.
Yeah.
At least you have to sleep, eventually. I
I'll
wouldn't
And
turn
a
myself into
breakfast.
an energy drink.
5-hour energy.
get a little monster
Keep
going.
points energy.
Oh my god. All right, so
Oh my
right.
gosh, Taco.
what if it was
yes.
Jennifer Coolidge that betrayed this person?
You
That's
didn't
what
give
I'll
me no
find out
hot
next
dogs.
week. Well, should have got her hot dog. Oh no, you guys are in sync. That's scary. Too much
Don't
power.
eat it, go.
All right.
She's just like,
I wanted to cut that rope real bad.
I hate you. Oh no. Okay.
Are you sending us into purgatory?
Not quite. Not yet. Soon. God, I keep having to restart the song. Okay. The camera pans out across Amrutlar. Night has fallen over the city. 2 figures walk down the street, one leading the other one, following hesitantly behind a couple of steps. Fume walks up to a door and glances up at a sign that hangs above it. Fume, what are we doing here? I don't know. She looks up. The sign swings gently. Something about this place She cracks knuckles in expectation. He was here. She turns away from the sandworm's brew. I know he was here. Mother's leading me to him. I just have to be patient. She goes back past Lagan as Lagan watches the place. They both turn and walk away back down the street. And then Fume stops, turns back to the brewery, finds a staircase that leads up to a door and sits on it. Starts biting at her finger while staring at it. Should she go? The scene changes. Elsewhere, far from here.
Oh,
In the city, a dark city. Twilight is falling. A large tower stands tall, light pooling away from it. Small little globes start to sprinkle out over the city, bringing light to the nighttime. They spread out and across, and then freeze. The camera shifts closer towards the tower itself, passing through a window, a staircase that curls upwards along its edges. A body lies on the ground, crimson pooling around it as it's face down, having been stabbed through. The camera continues to follow the staircase as it winds upwards, further and further. Another body. This one slammed up against the wall, the red streaking down along the side. Finally, it reaches a door. A large circular handle is in the process of being rotated by a figure unseen. It creaks open. On the other side, a robed man stops and turns his attention to who might be entering in behind him. The top of this tower appears almost like a snow globe, a large dome of light that covers a small, well, not small, a large object that turns in the center. This object seems to be an octahedron of sorts. Light pools out of it, bright, shimmering, blinding. Its each edge gilded with gold. The man turns and speaks in a language. The little subtitles go across the screen. Who are you? His eyes widen. This elven man sees his reflection walking towards him. Someone that looks exactly like him. The figure walks with an eerie movement, and he smiles wickedly. I'll be taking that. Thank you very much. And as the old man is about to speak, the hand that points to him elongates with a black tendril of inky darkness and stabs him through the chest. And another, each finger elongating outwards before retracting once again. The figure falls to the ground. And this one pulls from his side a small device, sets it on the ground, and begins to mutter words and swirl upwards with his hands as some sort of magic incantation begins to envelop around the room, circling this device in its very center and shrinking it down into a smaller, more manageable size. The magic continues to swirl, and he calls forth this device as it floats towards him. And he opens up what looks like a small black bag, but it's flat. He flips it upwards, and that device is gone, swallowed by the black hole that he now contains in his hand, and spins around tightly, slips it into his side. He looks down at the old man. Fixes his clothing, and his form morphs like liquid. Black and white and red swirl around to reform a more roguish individual. This is going to go much easier than I imagined. He casts his hands in front of him, and a portal opens. The world and space around him sucks him inwards, and he is gone. The lights outside the city that had been spreading across fizzle out of existence. And true night falls on this place. And with that, we are going to end for tonight. Find out where that's going. Coming soon. To a mini-series.
To DVD.
To a mini-series near you.
Only on
I
Patreon.
love it. Oh, nice. Soul.
Oh my
Missed
god.
opportunity.
Oh shit, it's Envy from FMA. Or Lust. Yeah, Lust.
That was excellent. The way that I don't know how you timed the story
Every little
to work
sound
with the
effect.
music that well,
With all the right
but it
damn
was
music.
amazing. The cue for like switching to the blood streak in the doorway, and then like, yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
I like my music, okay? I like my music. Adding this guy
But
to my
one
murder
thing-
list. Imagine, Dreamy, really? You're gonna add that to your murder list?
I
Interesting.
just want to imagine that one campaign that's composed of Jennifer Coolidge, B. Arthur, Catherine O'Hara, and Joan Crawford just around a table, like with mimosas. And B. Arthur's the DM. That's how I see it.
Tracking down this guy.
No, Catherine, you can't do that. I already told you.
Oh my god. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Game of Santos in the Knights of Silver Mooniverse. As more and more interesting things are upon us.
Wait. Last thing we do. Roll for recap.
Ah.
Oh yeah.
Good job, Kindred. Good job.
Valley Girl Conrad.
It's a 1.
It's you.
Ardred.
No, it's Ardred. I'm 8.
Who said that?
Hey, since Arjun was leading
1,
the way,
2,
it was pretty
3,
cool.
4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7.
Involved.
It's a bit of a blind leading the blind situation.
Taco is like, wait, the last thing is play for 15 more minutes. Yeah. if we go too much further, it's gonna get harder to like end sooner. So that's why I was like,
Yeah,
let's-
no,
let's-
that's exactly why I didn't argue. I was like, something's about to happen that's going to take us a little while, and if we only had 30 minutes left, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, I don't really want to be running into a boss fight at midnight.
So, are we taking a rope
Um,
down the pit?
Oh no.
No.
Well,
How
this
wide
guy
is the
was
pit?
that guy was murdered.
about 20 feet across.
Sabotage.
Cool, so I can glide. Not effectively, but I can glide.
Or you
The
could like
thing
fly
is-
flat, go downwards.
We
You
don't
could go
know
down and
this.
then be like
Right?
ripped up by this tentacle thing and never seen again.
That's the bad kind of hentai.
That's the really bad one. Anyway, thank you for
Hentai meets murder hobo.
thank you for hanging out with us. Hope you guys enjoyed Fey Hunters as we finished that up last night with our lovely Iskra doing a couple of questions there. That was fun to go over as we now look forward to our next miniseries coming soon. More details about that. In the meantime,
It's a nice teaser trailer.
yeah, the first of several teaser trailers. It's gonna be fun.
Ooh,
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah, more hot dogs. Oh my god. That's it, Dreamy. You're gonna be hunting Jennifer Coolidge. Confirmed.
She's a lich, and her phylactery is a hot dog.
Jennifer
Oh my God.
Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Jennifer Cole lich.
Oh my god. All right. We'll see you next time.
4th of July.
But which hot dog?
Obviously, it's
We
Jumbo
will.
Frank.
Keep an eye on our Twitter. We'll need more information. We'll be posting on there as far as what we'll be doing in the meantime on Mondays up until this point. But also just come and hang out with us here on Tuesday nights. And
In the hole.
until next Tuesday, we will see you later. Stay fey, stay cool, or whatever.
Hey, Lich.
Stay fey, lich. Oh my god.
And stay away from the
Whatever. We're
metal.
done. Bye.